Chapter 841 Fang Yuan's Public Provocation. Seemingly hearing Firesmith Dragon Chief's inner voice, Fang Yuan continued to ridicule with even more intensity. Good, this gaze, this mood, this rage, only like this can you bring out all your strength to fight me. Only such an opponent can make me feel some interest. Remember, you must use all your strength, otherwise you will be myriad dragon doc's disgrace. Ha ha ha. Fang Yuan spoke with such arrogance while pointing at Firesmith Dragon Chief. At once, all the GU masters were speechless. Wasn't this way too arrogant? Myriad Dragon Doc's members gritted their teeth. They were arrogant, but Fang Yuan was even more arrogant. Firesmith Dragon Chief trembled in anger, staring at Fang Yuan with such fury that flames seemed to spout out. Unlike the imagination of outsiders, Fang Yuan had a bold demeanor on the surface, but inwardly, he was extremely vigilant. Differing from the information in the outside world, this Firesmith Dragon Chief's main cultivation is actually not refinement path but fire path. Back when he was at Myriad Dragon Doc, he was a refinement path GU master. And he was also indeed thrown out of the sect, but because of a fortuitous encounter, he obtained a certain fire path GU Immortal's inheritance. After he became a fire path GU Immortal, he tried to enter Myriad Dragon Doc again. Myriad Dragon Doc naturally would not let go of a GU Immortal and had actually already secretly taken him in. It was just that it happened to be time for the Refinement Path Convention, and seeing his Refinement Path attainment was Grandmaster level, they hurriedly made him join the competition to try to seize the top spot and get more benefits for the sect. This Firesmith Dragon Chief's Refinement Path attainment level is above mine. In my previous life, he was ranked at second of this convention. A Refinement Path Grandmaster cannot be taken lightly. Especially during the GU refinement in the 10th round, he impressively suppressed 3 quasi-grandmasters on the spot. Such an enemy must be beaten down early. If I let go of this chance, according to my previous life's memories, there will be almost no chance of suppressing him. Firesmith Dragon Chief was a GU Immortal, but he did not disclose it, instead disguising himself as Immortal. He naturally could not conceal his GU Immortal cultivation from other GU Immortals, but it was okay for them to know it. No one would expose this. Maintaining their mysteriousness helped GU Immortals to maintain their dominion. There was also another reason. By any chance, if they lost to Immortal in the Refinement Path Convention, that would be too disgraceful. Why would GU Immortals lose to mortals? There were actually many cases of mortals defeating GU Immortals in the Refinement Path Convention. GU refinement was not like fighting or killing, it was purely technical. The most important reason was that Immortal GU were unique and were extremely difficult to successfully refine. Without Immortal GU as a benchmark, the competition between GU Immortals and mortals depended on refining Mortal GU. Everyone could refine Mortal GU, and to a great extent, it could not embody the gap between Immortal and Mortal. Thus, normally speaking, all GU Immortals would hide their identities when participating in the Refinement Path Convention. Start. Fang Yuan urged the demon-expelling sect's elder. Begin quickly. Firesmith Dragon Chief shouted. He was already impatient to crush this rampant Fang Yuan. Demon-expelling sect's elder endured the pressure from the two, and said firmly with gritted teeth, "It is not yet time, the competition cannot be started. There are still 3 breaths of time left. 3, 2, 1, okay, activate the isolation GU formation, close the entrance of the venue, release the task." In the previous 7 rounds of the Refinement Path Convention, because of too many participants, they could only let the participants take the test in turns. Now, at the 8th round, the number of participants had greatly reduced. Each test venue only held the competition once. The GU masters who missed this chance would be regarded as voluntarily giving up. The GU worms that contained the tasks were also very specific. This information path rank 5 Mortal GU was a method of Heavenly Court, and had extraordinary ability in preserving secrets. The tasks were not stored inside, but controlled by Heavenly Court. The instant the competition was about to begin, the true tasks would be transmitted. Everyone, inside and outside the stage, went quiet when the task was released. They were holding their breaths as they fixed their gazes on the task. It was so quiet that even a pin dropping could be heard. The 8th task. Refine a Keep Silent GU, a rank 5 Sound Path GU worm. The participant who successfully refines it first will be the winner and can advance to the next round. The remaining GU masters will be eliminated. The materials provided were Immortal Soul Grass, Worry Stones, a rank 4 Apathy GU, 6 rank 3 Muted Mouth GU, 2 rank 4 Sinking GU, and the test did not allow the use of other materials. The GU recipes provided were 6 different keep silent GU recipes, 3 different apathy GU recipes and 1 collusion GU recipe. Everyone was frowning. The difficulty of this task could be considered about 10 times higher than the 7th round. Not only were there 10 different GU recipes, it also demanded a discerning eye, so the GU master could choose those most suitable for themselves. Moreover, the supplied materials were limited and did not allow the GU master to use materials they brought. In addition, these materials could not satisfy the requirements of any one GU recipe. This meant that the GU masters would need to reverse refine apathy GU, muted mouth GU or sinking GU to obtain more refinement materials. They would have to make use of these materials to finally refine the rank 5 sound path keep silent GU. Another method was for the participating GU masters to use wisdom path methods to sum up these GU recipes and improve them, deducing a GU recipe that met the conditions using the supplied materials as the base. However, between these two methods, the first one was naturally the most worthwhile and effective. The second method required extremely high wisdom path attainment, and by this stage, it was rare to see GU masters who also had deep wisdom path attainment. More importantly, this test took time into consideration. Only the first one to refine the GU successfully could be the winner, while the rest were eliminated. The mental pressure was high, and during the final steps, it was likely for there to be those who could not endure the mental pressure, making a mistake and failing. Firesmith Dragon Chief almost coughed out blood when he saw the task. What kind of shitty task was this? Firesmith Dragon Chief almost cursed out loud. He was actually a Fire Path GU Immortal, and was most proficient in refining Fire Path GU worms. This Sound Path GU worm clearly did not fall within his proficiency range. Moreover, several of the crucial refinement materials could not be handled with fire refinement techniques. This was awkward. Fang Yuan had rampantly asked Firesmith Dragon Chief to use his strongest GU refinement killer move, Mad Deity's Blazing Flames. Firesmith Dragon Chief was furious and had also planned to use this killer move to completely humiliate Fang Yuan. However, with such a task, what would Firesmith Dragon Chief use Mad Deity's Blazing Flames for? Using the fire to burn air. This task was extremely at odds with Firesmith Dragon Chief. Relatively speaking, out of his entire GU refinement attainment, he could only display 80%. Even if he was a GU Immortal, they also had areas where they were proficient in and those that they were not. This task just happened to be an aspect which Firesmith Dragon Chief was most unskilled in. Naturally, Refinement Path Grandmaster attainment was not just for show. Firesmith Dragon Chief could absolutely succeed in refining the GU. However, the key thing was the appearance of Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's true skills were enough to threaten Firesmith Dragon Chief. Among experts of similar levels, just a slight decrease in capability could determine the winner and the loser, let alone when Firesmith Dragon Chief was weakened by a whole 20%. This guy chose such great timing, his luck is seriously too good. No, I must defeat him. Firesmith Dragon Chief swore to himself, and glanced at Fang Yuan. However, at the next moment, his eyeballs almost popped out. Fang Yuan had already started refining. How was it possible? How could he start so fast? The supplied GU recipes and materials could not be matched together. GU masters had to reverse refine GU worms to create materials, or sum up the GU recipes and deduce a new one. In short, refining rank 5 keep silent GU at the end. Thus, this required the GU master to think deeply, making deductions constantly in their mind, and consider the probabilities of orthodox refining and reverse refining, from there, combining many ideas to make the most concise GU refinement plan. This thought process was extremely important. The ideas from the thoughts needed to have low risks. If the risks were high, there could be many failures, resulting in materials being wasted and not leaving enough for the GU refinement, and with the condition of not being able to use one's own materials, they could only admit defeat. While seeking low risk, they also needed to consume the least amount of time. If you consumed too much time, someone else might have already finished, and even if you succeeded in refining, you would be eliminated. Demanding low risk and also low time consumption, this was quite difficult. They would require meticulous thinking, constant comparisons and arrangements, and then choosing the best plan out of them all. Even though Firesmith Dragon Chief was a grandmaster in refinement path, he estimated he would also need about 8 minutes of time. However, this Fang Yuan, how could he start refining GU at the very start? Is there a mistake? He really has such confidence. Foolish, a workman must sharpen his tools if he is to work well. The correct way is to calm down and think. The participating GU masters glanced at Fang Yuan a few times before concentrating on thinking. Fang Yuan had the lead and was progressing extremely quickly. Other GU masters had not even begun refining, only he had started. This naturally led to most of the spectators gazing at him. Exclamations of praise sounded out repeatedly. Such dazzling methods. Skilled, too skilled, it is simply like an instinct that has seeped into his bones. But is this okay? Haste makes waste. Fang Yuan naturally knew the logic of haste makes waste, but he knew the contents of this task. In Fang Yuan's previous life, after he became a Blood Path GU Immortal, he had once planned to participate in the Refinement Path Convention. The reason? Because even the Demonic Path could participate in the Refinement Path Convention, even wanted criminals could register their names overtly, and the Righteous Path would not arrest them. During that time, Fang Yuan did not have a single Immortal GU and was putting his efforts in gathering Immortal materials to refine Immortal GU. The whole process was extremely arduous. In comparison, although he was an Immortal zombie in this life, his financial circumstances were many times better. Fang Yuan had considered almost any possible method to gather Immortal materials. He realized that the Refinement Path Convention was an opportunity to obtain large amounts of Immortal materials. Chapter 842, Capturing Fang Zheng in Public. In Fang Yuan's previous life, by the time he placed his attention on the Refinement Path Convention, only a time period of over a decade had passed since the previous competition. To join the Refinement Path Convention, Fang Yuan had started preparing for it over 80 years in advance during his previous life. Every day, he spent some time practicing both day and night. During this process of practicing, Fang Yuan had the mindset of a youngster on earth facing a mountain of exam practice. He collected all of the different tasks throughout the years of competitions and practiced them laboriously, trying to discern the intention of the set task. He easily obtained all of the questions. There were people in Central Continent specialized in selling such information. These were easy to buy and sell. People seeking intelligence were simply everywhere. Thinking back to the times when he buried himself in practice, they were truly terrifying memories. But in actuality, Fang Yuan's Refinement Path Foundation was built during that time. Without that period, he would not reach his current Refinement Path Quasi-Grand Master level. Thus, Fang Yuan not only remembered this competition's contents, he even knew the contents of many previous competitions, and even future competitions. With such a huge advantage, even if his Refinement Path attainment was inferior to Firesmith Dragon Chief, so what? Of course, this had a drawback. That was the butterfly effect. Since rebirth, Fang Yuan had altered the developments of many events. By burning a tree, it could cause a forest fire. Those skilled in swimming could drown, those skilled in riding could fall. By relying solely on his advantage, would Fang Yuan cause his own demise due to a change in the questions this time? This was entirely possible, but this was only a possibility. According to Fang Yuan's deductions, there was a very small probability of this happening. Fang Yuan decided to take a risk. And he succeeded. The contents did not change at all. Time continued to pass. The state of the intense GU refinement competition was starting to become clear. Fang Yuan was in the lead. He was ahead of the second-place Firesmith Dragon Chief by a large margin. He was radiating with confidence. He refined GU calmly, maintaining his huge lead and gradually fermenting despair in all of the competitors who were trying to catch up to him. Some GU masters outside the stage started to see some deeper things. They praised, Fang Yuan has such quick wits. He did not think about it excessively. He designed this GU refinement plan straight away. Incredible, his plan can not only keep a stable refinement speed, there are also fewer steps, allowing some mistakes. Even if he fails several times, the amount of materials are enough for him to try again. This was natural. The plan Fang Yuan used was the finalized perfect plan that countless GU masters had come up with after many attempts in his previous life. There were more people gasping at Fang Yuan's GU refinement techniques. Fang Yuan's GU refinement techniques are truly incredible. He has so many of them, they are like his inborn skills. This is truly the result of immense practice and hard work. Now, he is refining Keep Silent GU, involving many techniques that are not used normally, but he could actually use them so skillfully, it is hard to imagine his proficiency with normal techniques. This was natural. For this 8th round, Fang Yuan had made many preparations. In Hu Immortal Blessed Land, he had specially trained and refined Keep Silent GU. He did the entire procedure over and over again. He practiced at least 200 times. Most notably, he is radiating with confidence from inside to outside. He believes in his success, as if the failure rate of the GU refinement does not exist. This is the demeanor of a refinement path expert. The 3 olds of refinement path in history were just like this. That's right, looking at him refine GU is like watching a dazzling performance. How great is his confidence, it is almost as if victory is kept in his pocket. His advantage is too great, even if Fang Yuan fails the GU refinement once or twice, he can still fight for first place with Firesmith Dragon Chief who is currently second. Under the gazes of countless people, Fang Yuan won this competition with a huge lead, without any surprises. Throughout the process, Fang Yuan unquestionably suppressed his competitors. Even Firesmith Dragon Chief lost to him by a great margin. Lord Firesmith Dragon Chief lost. He was eliminated like this. Spectators from Myriad Dragon Dock could not believe their eyes, they muttered dazedly. Fang Yuan, Fang Yuan. The people from Immortal Crane sect shouted, they cheered loudly. Only Fang Zheng was still sitting, he looked at his brother on the stage, he felt as if the black robe was shrouded over his heart. Perhaps in my lifetime, I'll never get a chance to take revenge. At this moment, Fang Zheng was extremely discouraged, he had no fighting spirit left in him. Even though he had deep hatred, Fang Zheng felt extremely weak in front of Fang Yuan, there was nothing he could do. Firesmith Dragon Chief was staring with wide-opened eyes, he gazed at Fang Yuan fixedly. He was unwilling to accept this. He did not even use his strongest killer move, this damned question restricted him. But he had to admit that Fang Yuan's mind was very sharp and fast. He actually designed such a flawless GU refinement plan in such a short time. Is this Fang Yuan guy really an immortal zombie? Is there an error with the information? Immortal zombies were worse in thinking, the plan that Fang Yuan thought of made this GU immortal, Firesmith Dragon Chief, feel extremely ashamed. At once, Firesmith Dragon Chief was suspicious of Fang Yuan's status as an immortal zombie. This round of the competition was over, Fang Yuan walked down slowly as he left the stage. He did not mock or humiliate Firesmith Dragon Chief, the latter couldn't help but relax slightly. Since he had won, there was no point in humiliating the other party. If he provoked Firesmith Dragon Chief and caused him to issue a challenge for a duel, Fang Yuan would only be inviting trouble for himself. Eventually, Firesmith Dragon Chief brought the people from Myriad Dragon Dock away, leaving with regret. Fang Yuan obtained the victor's reward from Demon Expelling Sect, it was a number of immortal materials, there was a huge variety of them, but each of them had little quantity. Starting from the 8th round, the rewards were far more valuable than the first 7 rounds, there were immortal materials as well as immortal GU recipes and others. If this was not the case, why would Fang Yuan treat the Central Continent Refinement Path Convention as a method to gather immortal materials in his previous life? Fang Yuan kept the immortal materials, he rejected Demon Expelling Sect's invitation to stay as a guest, he walked all the way to the exit. At the mountain gate, Immortal Crane Sect's group was waiting already. Lord Fang Yuan. Seeing Fang Yuan's arrival, Elder Yantang and another elder greeted him together. Fang Zheng was helpless, he was also an elder that had come along, but he was standing behind the two of them with an expressionless face, he did not even make any greetings. Fellow sect members, a good day to you all. Under the mask, Fang Yuan's warm voice could be heard. Immortal Crane Sect's group was very excited. From Fang Yuan's earlier arrogance, they felt that he would be hard to talk to. But now, he spoke with a kind and warm tone, they felt that Fang Yuan was truly different when facing his fellow sect members, compared to dealing with outsiders. Fang Yuan first looked at Elder Yantang. In the competition earlier, this elder had participated as well. Fang Yuan gave pointers casually. Your refinement path attainment is not low, but your plan had several flaws, this is how you should deal with them, for example, at the first step. Elder Yantang heard this and felt great admiration towards Fang Yuan, he thanked him profusely. The disciples behind him had shining eyes, filled with admiration and praise. Fang Yuan directed his gaze at Fang Zheng now, his voice turned cold as he said with a tone filled with disappointment, "My brother, what expression are you showing? Are you afraid I will scold you? Your performance is just as disappointing as always. You did not even pass the first round of the Refinement Path Convention, you simply make us lose face." The atmosphere turned heavy, the disciples were grimacing as they thought, Fang Yuan is such a fierce brother. Immortal Crane Sect's elders were stunned, it seemed that these two brothers had a rather cold relationship. Fang Zheng showed a look of hatred as he snorted, about to speak. Fang Yuan waved his hand, he was going to attack him in public. Fang Zheng was a rank 5 GU master, at the peak of the mortal world. But he was an enslavement path GU master, most of his battle strength relied on crane groups, and he also did not expect Fang Yuan to attack him in public under everyone's sight without caring for the consequences. Fang Yuan's attack was premeditated. He not only used several mortal killer moves, among them was a wisdom path killer move from Dongfang Chongfan. While Immortal Crane sect was staring blankly, Fang Yuan struck, immediately immobilizing Fang Zheng while at a distance. Fang Zheng, you are too disappointing. At this stage, you are still moving around outside, why are you not settling down and cultivating? With such strength, you still want to attract attention outside, what is the point? Our parents are gone, as your brother, I hold the duty of a father to educate you. Since you are interested in refinement path, from today onwards, you will stay by my side, and I will impart to you my refinement path experience. You have to cultivate with all your heart, until I am satisfied. Fang Yuan chided. I don't want you to take care of me. I am an elder of Immortal Crane sect, I have grown up already. Fang Zheng screamed, he resembled a rebellious youth, refusing to accept discipline. But in fact, he was feeling an icy chill inside. He could not control himself, the words that he shouted were not words that he wanted to say. This was a wisdom path killer move from Dongfang Chongfan, it directly controlled Fang Zheng's mind and created fake thoughts that infiltrated Fang Zheng, causing him to act in accordance with these thoughts. This was similar to the way enslavement path GU masters controlled beasts. But the difference was, enslavement path GU masters usually only control beasts, they had simple thoughts. Controlling humans was much harder, they had complex minds. Fang Yuan was a rank 6 immortal zombie, against Fang Zheng, a rank 5 GU master, he had to use and coordinate several killer moves at once to smoothly capture Fang Zheng. No, save me, will anyone save me? Master, Master, Fang Zheng screamed inwardly. But there was no response from the spirit incubating flea. Fang Yuan had cut off Fang Zheng's connection to his aperture. Fang Zheng stared at Fang Yuan with a furious expression. He did not think that Fang Yuan would be so crazy, attacking him here. He was simply a lunatic, he had no reservations towards offending Immortal Crane sect. Chapter 843, Immortal GU Change Form. Fang Yuan was in an alliance with Immortal Crane sect, how could he dare to attack a member of Immortal Crane sect? Fang Zheng knew more inside information than the other elders and disciples here. Earlier, when he Feng Yang and Kang Yu attacked to Immortal Blessed Land and failed, because of the benefits of Guts GU, they reached an agreement. One of the clauses in the agreement was that members from both sides were not to attack each other. This was why Fang Zheng felt he was safe. Fang Yuan retracted his hand, Fang Zheng was immobilized, nor could he shout, he could not resist as a formless force pulled him up and sent him into Fang Yuan's hands. Immortal Crane sect's group was looking on with dumbfounded expressions. Such terrifying strength. Elder Fang Zheng has rank 5 cultivation level, but he was captured without putting up any resistance. Even though Fang Zheng is an enslavement path GU master, isn't that too absurd? Fang Yuan's unbelievable abilities struck fear in these people. Fang Zheng screamed internally, are you people watching a show? Quickly save me, he is no longer my brother, he killed our aunt and uncle, he killed all the clansmen in our clan, he is a demon, he is a great demon. At the same time, Fang Zheng opened his mouth and shouted, I will not go to your place, why should I listen to you? You want to lecture me again? I can decide my own life. I have my own goals, how can you understand my dreams? I can work hard myself, I can surpass you. It was just like he was a completely rebellious and out-of-control youth. Fang Zheng heard his own yells and lost all hope. Fang Yuan sighed, he said to the people in Immortal Crane sect, during this period of time, my good-for-nothing brother has caused you trouble. No trouble at all. Immortal Crane sect's members waved their hands in dismissal quickly. Fang Yuan nodded, he said, I will bring Fang Zheng with me and educate him personally. I have talked to your sect leader regarding this matter already, you just need to go back and inform him. Fang Yuan was spouting nonsense, he did not even know what the sect leader looked like. The two elders let go of their last bits of hesitation. In order for Immortal Crane sect to maintain its reputation, Fang Yuan's matter had always been covered in lies. Right now, Fang Yuan was using these lies to trick the members of Immortal Crane sect. Fang Yuan carried Fang Zheng and left. The surrounding GU masters felt a peculiar feeling when they saw this, but since Immortal Crane sect was saying nothing, why would they interfere? Furthermore, the target was the renowned refinement path expert Fang Yuan. There were GU masters of demon expelling sect who were worried, they went over to ask. Elder Yan Tang smiled as he said, there's no issue, Lord Fang Yuan and Elder Fang Zheng are brothers, right now, the elder brother is teaching his younger brother. Demon expelling sect was convinced and left. Immortal Crane sect's gang watched as Fang Yuan left, many disciples gazed towards Fang Zheng with a look of envy. Someone sighed. Even though Lord Fang Yuan speaks in a cold tone, he is really concerned about his one and only precious brother. That's right, it is such a rare opportunity to receive the teachings of a refinement path Grand Master. You know, after Fang Zheng accepted the sect mission last time, he came back and became a rank 5 elder. Now that he is brought away by his brother, would he come back as a refinement path Grand Master? No way, that is too exaggerated. Even so, the guidance of such an expert is incredibly precious, he has lots to gain from it. Sigh, why don't I have a brother like this? A disciple said the sentence that everyone was thinking about. If at this moment, they knew that Fang Yuan had captured Fang Zheng as a backup plan for his possession, what wondrous expressions would they show? P.I.O.P. Fang Yuan threw Fang Zheng on the ground. Fang Zheng struggled to get up, he screamed internally, Fang Yuan, you vile demon, what do you want with me? You and Immortal Crane sect had made an agreement, you cannot kill me, an elder of Immortal Crane sect. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. I am not going to kill you, why are you so agitated, oh dear brother, just wait here obediently and quietly. Fang Zheng showed fear on his face, he cried out from within, Fang Yuan is not my master, Lord Sky Crane, how can he hear my inner thoughts? Fang Yuan smiled arrogantly, looking at Fang Zheng who was at his feet, he said, your so-called master is only a soul now. Even if he were to be alive, he was only a rank 5 GU master in his prime. Saying this, Fang Yuan grabbed with a hand and plundered all of the mortal GU on Fang Zheng's body. The spirit incubating flea trembled weakly, this was the fierce resistance of Lord Sky Crane. But how could he succeed? If this was back on Qingmao Mountain, 100 Fang Yuans would not be Lord Sky Crane's match. But now, Fang Yuan was completely different, he was a rank 6 GU immortal. Lord Sky Crane had even become merely a soul. Fang Yuan, even if you do not kill us, capturing us violates the alliance agreement, you will face fierce backlash from breaking it. I urge you to let us go, as a grand GU immortal, how can you take interest in us mortals? Are you not afraid that doing this would ruin your relationship with Immortal Crane sect? Don't think Immortal Crane sect cannot subdue you. The foundation of the 10 great ancient sects is beyond your imagination. Lord Sky Crane screamed in the spirit incubating flea, he knew that Fang Yuan could hear him. Fang Yuan raised his head and laughed, ha ha ha, Lord Sky Crane, I need to thank you. If you did not attack Qingmao Mountain, I would not have gotten to this level today through various opportunities. What can Immortal Crane sect do even if I capture you too? Since you know many secrets, you should know that the 10 great ancient sects are restraining each other, everything is based on benefits and self-interest. What do you think is more important, the one and only Guts GU, or the two of you? Lord Sky Crane was speechless. A cold light shined in Fang Yuan's eyes, he mobilized countless GU worms as he formed a soul path killer move at once, give me information about everything you know, soul search. 2 hours later, Fang Yuan walked out of this underground prison. Behind him, the entrance shut tightly. Fang Yuan's red eyes were shining with light as he muttered, Lord Sky Crane, 1st Gen GUU, Blood Path True Inheritance. Through soul searching, he had learned all about Lord Sky Crane and 1st Gen GUU's enmity. He even learned many of Immortal Crane sect's secrets. This Lord Sky Crane is a capable subordinate of Hefeng Yang, if I capture him, will Hefeng Yang come and ask for him? This is slightly troublesome. He actually did not want to use possession and wanted to protect Fang Zheng. This Lord Sky Crane holds onto his beliefs resolutely. Towards this, Fang Yuan praised without holding back. Even though he was a demonic overlord, he could appreciate and admire such an act of sacrificing oneself for another person, looking at it from a neutral perspective. The same kind of rice raises many different people. People in their lives all have their own goals and motivations. Towards these kinds of people with different value systems, Fang Yuan could accept and appreciate their existence. If he was not so open-minded, he would not have his current achievements. Judging from this, old Lord Kenyang must have gotten the possession technique from Dongfang Chongfan and brought it back to Immortal Crane sect. Lord Sky Crane's memories were not very helpful to Fang Yuan. He was only a mortal GU master, he did not know any deep secrets of Immortal Crane sect, Fang Yuan could make little use of them. As for Fang Zheng, Fang Yuan did not let him off, he searched his soul too. Fang Yuan intended to keep his brother in captivity for a long time. If one day, he had no other choice, Fang Yuan would have to use this last resort and possess Fang Zheng, regaining his living status. But this way, he would lose his second aperture, all of the strength path Dao marks on him would be gone, he would need to undergo a mortal ascension again. The loss was huge. Second aperture Immortal GU was created using countless precious immortal materials, among which was lifespan GU. One could say that in the short term, Fang Yuan could not refine second aperture Immortal GU. Lifespan GU were hard to find, even if Fang Yuan could find them, with his current situation, he might use it directly to raise his lifespan. If possible, I would rather not possess Fang Zheng. But if my identity gets exposed and I do not manage to revive, I would need to use possession. My current target is the Refinement Path Convention. If I get into the top 6, I would be able to benefit from the Infallible Inheritance and get a chance to refine GU with assured success. The Infallible Inheritance was a Refinement Path Inheritance. What did being named Infallible mean? It meant no failure in GU refinement. Once he got into the top 6 places, he would be transported into a hidden blessed land. Fang Yuan planned to refine the Immortal GU change form after this. This was a rank 6 transformation path Immortal GU. Once he had it, Fang Yuan's vaguely familiar face would be elevated to another level. It would not be such a weak version of only concealing his regional aura. As for the Immortal GU recipe of change form Immortal GU, Fang Yuan already had it. This was all thanks to Lang Yalan spirit. Long ago, when Fang Yuan first obtained Wisdom GU, he had made a deal with Lang Yalan's spirit to complete Immortal GU recipes for him. Fang Yuan profited from this and not only got out of his financial troubles, he even obtained a large number of Immortal GU recipes. And this change form Immortal GU recipe was one of them. As for the immortal materials to refine change form Immortal GU, Fang Yuan was almost finished in preparing them. He bought half of the immortal materials from Northern Plains auction. For the other half, Fang Yuan asked Heilu Land to connect to Treasure Yellow Heaven using her blessed land. Fang Yuan used his remaining immortal materials to sell or trade, and after many transactions, he obtained most of the ones he needed. The last remaining portion was filled by the immortal material rewards from winning the 8th round by Fang Yuan. In the subsequent rounds, Fang Yuan went on the offensive and used his rebirth advantage to defeat all of the tough foes in advance. At once, Fang Yuan's reputation was soaring, forces of all sizes, and countless GU immortals were focusing their gazes on him. Other people were progressing normally, staying in their own territories and advancing safely. Only Fang Yuan was an exception, moving about and challenging different people, but he won every single round. Chapter 844, Contest Between Two Fangs. Central Continent Refinement Path Convention, 12th round. The competition was at its most crucial moment. The entire stage's focus was on two people. One was wearing a black robe, his body was strong and muscular, he wore a mask as he manipulated the flame in front of him. It was Fang Yuan. The other was wearing a plain white robe, his hair was white as snow and he had a tattoo on his forehead. It was Fang Wei. This is a contest between two Fangs. Fang Wei is amazing, he used 3 refinement path killer moves and reduced the lead. Even so, Fang Yuan still has the advantage. Sigh, he is too amazing, he probably is the best in quick thinking in this competition. This time, the moment the GU refinement started, he took the lead by a huge margin. There are still uncertainties. Both Fang Wei and Fang Yuan have one chance left in their hands. If they use it, they can remove a portion of immortal materials from the other party. Be it on the stage or below it, audiences were discussing among themselves enthusiastically. By now, all of the other GU masters in this round had been eliminated, only Fang Wei and Fang Yuan were left. Fang Yuan's gaze was calm as he focused on controlling the fire in front of him. Fang Wei, he even had the time to turn around and look at Fang Wei on his left, observing his opponent. Fang Wei was a GU immortal as well, he placed 3rd in Fang Yuan's previous life. He was a Woodpath GU immortal. In the entire competition, this round's task was the most unfavorable for him. Fang Yuan used this opportunity to challenge and attempt to get rid of him in advance. But Fang Wei had gone all out in the middle to later stage, using 3 refinement path killer moves. Among them was a refinement path immortal killer move. He pulled his distance closer to Fang Yuan in an instant. It caused the result of this GU refinement to become uncertain again. Worthy of someone who achieved 3rd place in my previous life, he is so hard to deal with. Fang Yuan's expression changed suddenly. The flame in front of him flickered. The blue peacock's head that had halfway been melted suddenly turned into ash and fell onto the ground. Fang Yuan's expression did not change, but his heart sank. Oh no, I happened to hit the chance of failure. He reacted quickly, turning around and grabbing at his right side, towards the final blue peacock there. But just as he killed the blue peacock and was about to throw its head towards the fire, Fang Wei spoke, I am using my chance to remove the GU refinement material, blue peacock, from Fang Yuan. The elder hosting the competition immediately responded, "Approve." The moment he said that, the blue peacock beside Fang Yuan vanished and was taken away. The crowd gasped. Each person was given 2 live blue peacocks. Fang Yuan wanted to use a peacock's head to refine Gu and failed once. Right now, his only remaining blue peacock was taken away. Beautiful, a beautiful choice. Fang Wai picked his timing really well. Fang Yuan is in trouble. Indeed, Fang Yuan was at the last few steps, but after losing the crucial materials, he can only change the Gu recipe and take a huge detour towards the finish line. Looking at Fang Wai, he was not far behind Fang Yuan originally. Right now, he should be able to catch up and eliminate Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan is going to be eliminated. Noticing this point, the crowd was in a commotion. Recently, Fang Yuan went ahead and challenged many Gu refinement experts. His power was ingrained in them. The outside world had greatly raised their evaluation towards his strength. Most people thought that Fang Yuan had reached the attainment of a refinement path grandmaster. A small number of people even felt that the ability Fang Yuan displayed had exceeded the level of a refinement path grandmaster. They thought he had reached refinement path quasi-great grandmaster attainment. Not mentioning refinement path grandmaster, the evaluation of him being at quasi-great grandmaster in refinement path was too absurdly high. Out of the refinement path attainment levels of ordinary, master, grandmaster, great grandmaster, and supreme grandmaster, only 3 people had reached the highest level in history. They were the 3 olds of refinement path. Their names were Old Eccentric Tian Nan, Old Immortal Kong Ju, and Long Hair Ancestor. But even quasi-great grandmasters were very rare. Among the refinement path Gu masters publicly known in Northern Plains, there were only 4 at that level or higher. They were Yao Huang, Murong Shui Shang, Lady Wan Shou, and Lady Miao Li. These were the 4 highest experts of refinement path in Northern Plains. In terms of refinement path attainment, it was impossible for Fang Yuan to be on the same level as them. But it was not strange that people had such thoughts. The capability that Fang Yuan displayed was simply too great. He knew all of the questions in advance. This allowed him to stay far ahead of those at second place in every round. When one walks along a river's banks, how can they not wet their shoes? This time, Fang Yuan struck and wanted to eliminate Fang Wai, but he caused harm to himself instead. Ha ha ha. Some people were gloating. That's right, he is too arrogant. I couldn't stand him since long ago. Well done Fang Wai. This Fang Wai is too despicable. Lord Fang Yuan, you have to hang on. Immortal Crane sect disciples, who were watching, shouted to cheer on Fang Yuan. After Fang Yuan captured Fang Zheng, Immortal Crane sect did not make a response. It seemed like they acknowledged this matter. Fang Yuan, I win. Fang Wai spoke with a clear smile. He was very confident. It was as if he had already grasped victory in his hands. Is that so? Fang Yuan sneered. He grabbed with his hand and the headless peacock corpse flew towards him. There were 2 live blue peacocks among the Gu refinement materials. Fang Yuan killed one of them and took the head. In the end, he failed and the second peacock got taken away. Right now, the corpse that he had was left behind from the first. Fang Yuan opened his fist as a gush of thick blood-colored fog burst out from his hand. In a few breaths' time, the fog covered the headless corpse entirely. Bystanders could not see what was going on. This is an evil blood refinement art again. HMPH, this is not the first time Fang Yuan has used blood refinement techniques. Why is such a person an elder of Immortal Crane sect? One of the 10 great ancient sects, Immortal Crane sect, is also starting to fall from grace. Many Gu masters exclaimed after seeing this. Some people even shouted, why is such a person not on the demon judgment board? Fang Yuan used blood refinement techniques time and time again in public. Immortal Crane sect was facing strong public criticism. What do you know? Blood refinement is just blood refinement. It is only a technique. If used in the hands of righteousness, it is righteous. When used in the hands of evil, it is evil. It all depends on oneself. An Immortal Crane sect disciple was indignant. He rebuked loudly. But the elder that brought them scolded him loudly. Quiet, do not spout nonsense. This disciple could only lower his head and sit down quietly and resentfully. In just a while, the blood-colored fog faded, and the headless peacock corpse shrunk by 20%. But a blue peacock head had appeared instead. This is a blood path Gu refinement killer move. It is so amazing, able to collect corpses and transform the material. This kind of material conversion can be done in other paths too, but isn't his rate of conversion too fast? Everyone's gazes were fixed on this. Fang Yuan tossed this peacock head into the fire. As the fire burned, the peacock head started to melt, the molten head fusing into the incomplete Gu that was in the fire. A moment later, the bird head melted and fused into the incomplete Gu fully. Feng Yuan went to the next step. It is as good as over. Seeing this, some people sighed. That's right, the last few steps have no risks. Without any mishaps, Feng Yuan will be the winner. The failure earlier was just an unexpected surprise. It had a low probability and will likely never happen again. Sigh, to think that Feng Wai could not stop Feng Yuan either. Just as everyone was sighing, Feng Wai laughed loudly inwardly. This is the way, you think you've won, huh? I took away your blue peacock, the objective to waste your time has been achieved. With my final refinement path killer move, I can surpass you and become the winner of this round. Feng Yuan, I need to thank you, you approached me personally. Once I defeat you, it would be like I defeated everyone that you defeated. Ha ha ha, this is great. But just at this moment, Feng Yuan spoke. I want to use a chance and remove one of my opponent's materials. The hosting elder immediately replied, please speak. Feng Wai was slightly shocked, but he soon smiled coldly to himself, thinking, remove it, remove whatever you want. Feng Yuan took a look at Feng Wai as his gaze was calm as water. I will remove the GU refinement material, Wild Bull Eyeball. Feng Wai's cold smile froze. The hosting elder was stunned too. The audience was confused. Didn't Feng Wai already use the crucial material, Wild Bull Eyeball, and fuse it into his incomplete GU? Feng Yuan wanted to take away a GU refinement material that had already been used. This was not allowed by the rules. But Feng Yuan was insistent on it. He said to Feng Wai, are you not handing over the Wild Bull Eyeball that you are secretly hiding? Are you trying to break the rules of the competition? Feng Wai's face showed extreme disbelief. He hid the Wild Bull Eyeball using his unique technique. Feng Yuan actually sensed it. Wild Bull Eyeball was an important GU refinement material. Feng Wai had long ago during the refinement made preparations for it, and the refinement path killer move that would bring him victory relied on it. Without the Wild Bull Eyeball, Feng Wai would not have the necessary components. How could he defeat Feng Yuan? But if he did not take it out, he could not hide it from anyone else anyway. Even if he could, if Feng Yuan raised an objection, the refinement path convention would undergo a thorough search. Feng Wai's reputation would be ruined. Thus, Feng Wai had to take it out regardless of his intentions. Under everyone's shocked gazes, he gritted his teeth as he took out the Wild Bull Eyeball from the fire. Here, he smashed the Wild Bull Eyeball on the ground in rage. He scattered the GU refinement flame as he walked away. This was the same as admitting his defeat. The crowd was silent before bursting into a commotion. Feng Yuan ignored these voices. He refined the GU worms in his hands unhurriedly until he obtained success. I finally won. This way, there should be no problem in getting top 6. Feng Yuan was bathed in everyone's shock, admiration, praise, and envy, but he had no expression as he let out a breath of cloudy air. Thankfully, I had my previous life's memories. I knew about Feng Wai's trump card, otherwise, he might have won. He looked like he had an easy time, but he actually faced great pressure internally. He was only a refinement path quasi-grandmaster. Even with the advantage of rebirth, it was very difficult to eliminate these competitors. The case of Firesmith Dragon Chief was only an exception. Though Feng Yuan managed to beat these people, it was not like what the outside world was saying, that he had an easy time, or he had huge superiority. Chapter 845, Failure Has Value. Central Continent, Heavenly Court. The sky was clear and bright. Countless exquisite halls made of white jade emitted translucent light. A rank 8 GU Immortal, Heaven Overseeing Tower Lord, slowly pushed open the large door of the discussion hall. He walked into the hall while leaning on a walking cane. In an instant, the wills of over 20 GU Immortals inside the hall turned towards him. Heaven Overseeing Tower Lord, you have worked hard for the last 100 years. After completing this segment of Fixing Fate GU, please take a good rest. Heavenly Court needs a senior expert like you. There aren't any unexpected situations in this refinement path convention, right? The GU Immortals' wills started talking, breaking the silence. Heaven Overseeing Tower Lord opened his cloudy eyes and looked around, before fixing his gaze on a will seated at a high position. Heaven Overseeing Tower Lord spoke. Lian Ju Shang, you should awaken. The current refinement path convention is reaching its end. We still need some preparations for the recovery of fate. Lian Ju Shang's will nodded as he slowly stood up. He then spoke. To restore fate, it won't be possible with just myself and Heaven Overseeing Tower Lord. We still need the power of 2 rank 8s. I wonder which friends will lend a hand. My main body is suppressing the immemorial desolate beast group in Falling Heavenly River. I am unable to help. My physical body has rested for long enough. but my soul is researching a rank 9 Immortal GU recipe and is at the crucial moment. Let me help, maybe this time, I can find several portions of profound eerie wind in the underground depths. The wills communicated for a while, finally 2 wills decided to wake up. It's decided then. Lian Ju Sheng's will nodded towards heaven overseeing Tower Lord, before soaring to the sky. Following him were other 2 wills. These 3 wills flew into the sky, towards the entrance leading outside, before vanishing from everyone's sight. Heaven overseeing Tower Lord turned around to leave, the door to the discussion hall slowly closed behind him. 3 days later, Central Continent, Harryfoot Mountain. 4 figures suddenly appeared in the air above Harryfoot Mountain. They completely concealed their rank 8 auras as they looked down at the mountain below. It was the 4 GU Immortals from Heavenly Court. Harryfoot Mountain, the white-haired man with a young appearance, Lian Ju Sheng, sighed, unknowingly, another 100 years have passed in Central Continent. Let's start quickly, I am pressed for time during this period of awakening, I still have many things to do. Bai Chentian, who had red eyebrows and green pupils, urged. Alright, let me start this off. Bai Kang Shui was the only female immortal among the 4. She stretched out her hands, instantly, white fog started rising slowly in the surroundings. Immediately afterwards, Bai Chen Tian opened his eyes, emitting 2 bright pillars of light that shot straight at Harryfoot Mountain. Harryfoot Mountain looked ordinary, it was small and lacked resources, even the surrounding small to middle-sized forces did not want to occupy it. However, right now, it looked mystical as it shined under the immortal killer move of Bai Chen Tian. Space fluctuated intensely, creating countless ripples. The entirety of Harryfoot Mountain shook slightly. Bai Chen Tian's attacking immortal killer move had terrifying might, but was not the least bit effective right now. Heaven overseeing Tower Lord was the 3rd to make a move, after which was Lian Ju Sheng at the end. 4 rank 8 GU Immortals were working together, but it was still far from enough. The GU Immortals already had an estimate, thus they continued to undertake a second round of attacks, a third round. Finally, at the 6th round, Lian Ju Sheng cried out and dealt the crucial blow, he triggered a qualitative change, producing an effect. Harryfoot Mountain disappeared from its spot, and a blessed land opened up in front of the 4 GU Immortals. This is infallible blessed land, which holds the infallible inheritance. Lian Ju Sheng sighed as he spoke. Bai Chen Tian looked several times, speaking with a smile. There are more mortal failure GU than the previous time, it seems the scale of the refinement path convention is becoming bigger and bigger. Bai Kang Shui took out a handkerchief and wiped the sweat on her forehead. Every time, we have to spend so much energy to open this place. Lian Ju Sheng, can't you completely take down this blessed land? It is difficult, you are also aware that the owner of this blessed land is a refinement path great expert who made things difficult for Ren Zhu. Lian Ju Sheng sighed. Heaven overseeing Tower Lord nodded. Heavenly Court has made moves against this blessed land for thousands of years, but even until now, we could only take out 30 success Dao marks. Every time the infallible inheritance accumulates to the limit, it will have 36 success Dao marks. We have taken away 30, which leaves behind 6 Dao marks for those participants of the Refinement Path Convention, and even if we want to seize these, we can't. Lian Ju Sheng added. This blessed land is extremely special, it is perfectly enclosed and has no entrances at all. It is not that we cannot break open this blessed land, but if we forcibly cause mayhem, it will be hard to reproduce the wonders of this blessed land. Under this restraint, we can only proceed this way. To capture this blessed land, we not only need Refinement Path GU Immortals but also Rule Path great experts. Unfortunately, whether it be Refinement Path or Rule Path, there are extremely few who can cultivate to rank 8. The 4 were silent for a while. Heaven overseeing Tower Lord spoke. Fortunately, after restoring Fate GU this time, it will be able to display 50% of its might. This is a qualitative change compared to before. From now on, we can search for even more Fate escapees, and restore the Immortal GU even faster. Speaking of which, how many escapees did you discover this time? Have you already dealt with them? Bai Chen Tian asked. Heaven overseeing Tower Lord replied. I discovered several, I cannot do anything against those in southern border and northern plains, but the 2 over here in central continent are already being dealt with. Less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than states. After Ren Zhu climbed the giant tree and walked out of ordinary abyss, he left behind his daughter, boundless forest samsara. Ren Zhu wanted to save her, but there was nothing he could do. He had become extraordinary, no longer able to enter ordinary abyss. Ren Zhu saw that pacing around this place was not going to help. He decided to set out again to find a way to rescue his eldest child, verdant great son, and his fourth child, boundless forest samsara. He started a new journey, beginning his road of life. On this day, he came across a hairy man. The hairy man stopped him, and was clearly happy. Renzu, I had a tough time looking for you. Renzu felt strange. I don't recognize you, why are you searching for me? The hairy man explained. It is like this, Renzu. I am the leader of all the hairy men in the world, no hairy man can match my GU refinement attainment. But I have recently encountered a problem when refining GU. I want to refine success GU, but I am unable to confirm if it is success or failure. Renzu had wanted to continue traveling, but he had a thought well up in his mind. If the hairy man leader could truly refine success GU and he borrowed this GU, couldn't he rescue his eldest child or his fourth child? Therefore, Renzu stopped and talked with the hairy man. But what do you need from me? The hairy man cautiously took out a GU. This GU resembled an ordinary rock and was covered with a thick layer of hair. The hairy man spoke. I do not dare to break it. If it is success GU, that is fine. But if it is failure GU, the moment I break it, I will completely lose my sense of self. But Renzu, you are different. You are walking on a path that solely belongs to you. This means you have self GU. Since you have self GU, even if you break the failure GU, you will not lose yourself. So I want to request you to appraise it. Renzu was happy. So it is like that. I can help you, but if it is success GU, please give it to me. I have an urgent need for it. The hairy man said. All right. That is no problem. Renzu touched the GU worm in front of him. He made a wish upon this GU. Please return my fourth child, boundless forest samsara, to my side. At the next moment, the GU worm crumbled. Failure. The hairy man was dejected. It seems I refined a failure GU. Courage GU on Renzu flew out. Renzu, you are a failure. I am leaving you. Courage GU left Renzu and flew away. The hairy man, however, was invigorated. It doesn't matter, I can improve the GU recipe. Renzu, wait a moment, I will refine it again. Renzu wanted to chase after Courage GU and take it back, but he had an even greater desire for Success GU to rescue his children. He thought for a moment, and decided to wait for the hairy man leader to refine the GU. The hairy man refined the second GU and gave it to Renzu for inspection. Renzu touched the GU and made a wish. The GU worm crumbled again. Another failure GU. The hairy man sighed in dejection. Faith GU on Renzu flew out. Renzu, you are a failure, you are not worthy of me. Faith GU also left Renzu. Renzu stamped his foot, and wanted to chase after it, but the hairy man tugged him. Don't be in a hurry, I have thought it through, this time I can definitely refine Success GU. Faith GU had already flown far away. Renzu realized he could not catch up to it, and said with a sigh, Hairy man, refine it quickly, this is the last time I am trusting you. The hairy man's third GU worm was still the failure GU. Strength GU also flew out. Renzu, you are a failure, you are unworthy of possessing me. Strength GU flew away. Renzu felt bitter as he knew chasing after it would not give any result, so he could only gaze as Strength GU flew far away. However, right at this time, Self GU in his heart suddenly flew out and bit Strength GU. Strength GU shrieked and flew even faster as a piece of it was bitten away. It soon disappeared like a streak of smoke. Renzu and the hairy man watched with stupefied expressions. Self GU leisurely flew back, and said proudly to Renzu, any failure has its value. Renzu, I went through repeated failures and absorbed them to become stronger. Just now, I took a bite of Strength GU, from now on, you will have your own strength. I can still become stronger, I can devour any GU worms to possess all their strength. Renzu was shocked. The hairy man leader slapped his thigh, shouting, I know how to refine Success GU, it is through failures. The more failures there are, the closer I will be to success. I understand now. He shouted happily as he rushed away, leaving Renzu behind. According to the research of the Heavenly Court GU Immortals, this infallible blessed land was the possession of the hairy man leader. Hairyfoot Mountain was the place where the hairy man leader had once resided. After his death, the hairy man leader left behind an inheritance. It was to gather other people's failures and refine them into mortal failure GU. As the mortal GU increased in numbers, they would then condense into Success Dao marks. After Heavenly Court discovered this, they captured the Blessed Land and used it as the foundation to develop and urge the Central Continent Refinement Path Convention to help the infallible inheritance quickly accumulate mortal failure GU. They will then use the gathered success Tao marks to restore fate GU. This was the origin of it all. Chapter 846, Persuading Fang Zhang. Central Continent, Hu Immortal Blessed Land. In Danghun Palace, Fang Yuan showed his true form, his 8-armed immortal zombie body seated on his bed, and his eyes shut. In his immortal aperture, there was an intense battle of wills. Fang Yuan, you will die a terrible death. Mo Yao's will screamed in anger, but the next moment, Fang Yuan's star will pounced at her. Two wills mixed together, they went into dangerous combat. Soon, Fang Yuan's star will shrunk at a visible pace, even though Mo Yao's fake will also suffered losses, her losses were much lower than those of Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan did not mind it, he only observed the battle. He did not use many wisdom path killer moves, like previously, to help his star will fight. When Fang Yuan's star will was about to lose, Fang Yuan smiled as he sent a lump of star will into the battle of wills. Soon, Fang Yuan's star will suffered great losses again, and he sent in a third batch. Mo Yao's will did not have a source to draw replenishment from, but Fang Yuan did, he sent in batches of star will until he finally got Mo Yao's will to an extremely weak state. Fang Yuan withdrew his star will from the battlefield, he activated multiple killer moves and immobilized Mo Yao's fake will again, he next nourished it and let her recover slowly so that he could search again next time. Mo Yao's fake will was scattered into a lump by Fang Yuan, she did not even have the energy to curse at him or maintain a human-shaped form. The information of greatest value in this fake will of Mo Yao's was Red Lotus Demon Venerable's inheritance clues, he had already obtained them. The only things left were memories of her GU refinement experiences. During the time he participated in the Refinement Path Convention, Fang Yuan did not forget to search the GU refinement memories that Mo Yao's will had. In addition, he wanted to train himself in how to engage in battles of wills. Initially, without using wisdom path methods, Fang Yuan's star will would be losing and was not the match of Mo Yao's fake will at all. Mo Yao was indeed a former fairy of Spirit Affinity House, with the identity of a female Inkman, she was loved by Sword Immortal Bo Qing, becoming his only wife. Even among all the different generations of fairies in Spirit Affinity House, Mo Yao was one of the most accomplished ones. Even though this old hag mainly cultivated refinement path, her wisdom path attainment surpassed Fang Yuan greatly. In order to train himself, Fang Yuan purposely engaged in pure battles of wills with Mo Yao's will. His losses in battle were at an astounding rate of 1 to 100. Fang Yuan would lose 100 portions in exchange for 1 portion lost by Mo Yao's will. But later, the more they fought, the more experience Fang Yuan gained. Most importantly, he had the guidance of Dongfang Chongfan's wisdom path inheritance, he grew rapidly as he engaged in the battles more frequently. From an almost blank state, he grew to a level that could fight Mo Yao's fake will head-on, his improvements were huge. From 1 to 100, his loss ratio went to 1 to 4. That was to say, 4 portions of Fang Yuan's star will could defeat Mo Yao's fake will. Mo Yao's fake will was extremely indignant in regards to Fang Yuan stealing her experiences and using her as a practice dummy, treating her like a stepping stone, but because she was restricted, she could not do anything despite her anger. Star will entered his mind, and Fang Yuan inspected the memories of Mo Yao that the star will stole. Soon after, he opened his eyes, a smile appeared on his face, interesting. This memory was not related to GU refinement experiences. Instead, the information was from back when Mo Yao and Sword Immortal Bo Qing had been traveling together. In Central Continent's Truyong mountain range, they killed a group of desolate beasts and were about to take their loot when they found a hibiscus stalactite in the cave. Hibiscus stalactites were a rare rank 7 immortal material. This stalactite produced a drop of stone-hard liquid every year. This liquid was even more precious, it was a rank 8 immortal material. Bo Qing was going to cut the stalactite, but Mo Yao stopped him. If he cut the stalactite, he would only get a rank 7 immortal material, but if he left it alone, many years later, there would be a large amount of stone-hard liquid. The value of a rank 8 immortal material was much greater than a rank 7 immortal material. Bo Qing listened to Mo Yao's suggestion and set up many exquisite GU formation arrangements to perfectly conceal this cave. So many years have passed, if this cave is still not found, the amount of rank 8 immortal material, stone-hard liquid, inside would be huge. Even if I cannot use it, I can collect it. In the future, I can sell it inside Treasure Yellow Heaven, or trade it to obtain immortal materials that I want. A rank 8 immortal material is something coveted by many GU immortals. Fang Yuan was overjoyed, but also gained an even deeper understanding about Mo Yao's fake will. This fake will of Mo Yao's has many techniques. She purposely concealed this precious memory. I only found out after searching most of her memories. Such a technique is not recorded even in Dongfang Chongfan's wisdom path inheritance. I have to get it from her. Fang Yuan urged himself internally. But for now, he could not continue ravaging Mo Yao. Her fake will needed to recover, otherwise, she would not be able to take further damage. Fang Yuan did not go to Truyong mountain range to take the stone hard liquid. He got up and opened the prison entrance, arriving in front of his little brother, Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng was in a strange state. He had his eyes shut, lying on the ground, interchanging between ruthless and relaxed expressions from time to time. He would scream and even move his limbs around randomly. It was like he was in a nightmare. This was obviously the work of Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan waved his hand and the method was ended. Fang Zheng was breathing roughly and covered in sweat. After a while, he got up and asked, "What did you do to me?" He looked at Fang Yuan with a gaze filled with hatred. Fang Yuan chuckled. He said plainly, "My good brother, what I showed you were the true events that happened. This is the combination of my memories and Lord Sky Crane's memories. You should know now that the disaster on Qingmao Mountain was not caused by me, it was because of your so-called master, Lord Sky Crane. If he did not come and try to take the blood path true inheritance, we might still be living happily on Qingmao Mountain as a family." Fang Zheng was stunned. At this moment, he forgot how to speak, or rather, he did not know what to say. Fang Yuan spoke the truth. Even though the clansmen were killed by Fang Yuan, he was forced to do so in order to survive. If not for Lord Sky Crane's attempt to take the Blood Sea true inheritance, Qingmao Mountain's 3 tribes would not have been destroyed. Of course, Lord Sky Crane did not hide the origin of this matter from Fang Zheng, he only explained it in a more pleasant manner that was in his favor. Fang Zheng had considered this problem before, but every time he thought about it, he would subconsciously avoid the issue. But now, Fang Yuan had searched Lord Sky Crane's soul and played his memories directly in Fang Zheng's mind. This was simply placing the cruel truth and facts in front of Fang Zheng. He could not avoid them even if he wanted to. He. Fang Yuan's laughter could be heard in the air. "My beloved brother, don't tell me you had never considered that your master, Lord Sky Crane, had unquestionable responsibility towards the destruction of Qingmao Mountain. You even acknowledged him as your master. You are truly a traitor." Fang Yuan's words were very sharp. They pierced into Fang Zheng's inner depths. "Shut up!" Fang Zheng screamed. He had never felt so angry in his life. "Shut up! Stop talking! You demon, you were the one who murdered the clan, you killed uncle and aunt, it was you, you murderer. Without master's help, I would have died long ago. I will not allow you to slander my master." "Oh," Fang Yuan's smile curled up mockingly. He chuckled. "Didn't Lord Sky Crane save you in order to make use of you and find me? He. Earlier, Immortal Crane sect tried to use you to attack my Immortal blessed land. Didn't you almost die then? My stupid brother, they are taking advantage of you, and you are actually a willing party. Stop talking, shut up. Fang Zheng covered his ears, he shut his eyes, his face was flashing with rage and panic. Fang Yuan's expression turned cold, his tone was icy. "My weak-willed brother, you do not even have the courage to face the truth. Even if you have the power of a rank 5 GU master right now, deep inside, you are still just a child who has not matured. But you are my blood kin, as your elder brother, I will give you a chance. Join me, I will train you and make you strong, you will grow up and mature." No. Fang Zheng opened his eyes, they were bloodshot as he stared at Fang Yuan with rage. "You murderer. You want me to work myself to death for you? Forget about it. Even if Immortal Crane sect is making use of me, I do not hate them. Because they were the ones who nurtured me. And you are the one who killed uncle and aunt, you killed our entire clan. I hate you, I will never forgive you. If given a chance, I will kill you personally and take revenge." Fang Yuan squinted his eyes as he looked at Fang Zheng quietly. He laughed instead of being angry. He, it seems you've learned a lot in Immortal Crane sect. Seeing your desire to kill me, I am looking forward to it. Saying this, Fang Yuan turned around and left the cell. These days, Fang Yuan had placed most of his effort on the refinement path convention. But he did not forget to use Wisdom GU and Star Thought GU to undergo deductions. Deducing vaguely familiar face to this point had expended all of Fang Yuan's capabilities. Thus, Fang Yuan went to deduce the killer move, Myriad Self, and successfully fused pulling Water Immortal GU into it. At this point, Myriad Self had 3 strength path cores. After that, Fang Yuan modified the recipe of Air Sac GU, The mass production of the GU now had more steps that were simpler to complete, the danger of the refinement had been reduced by 30%. When he modified memory thought GU, star thought GU, and malicious thought GU, he encountered a wall. Fang Yuan's wisdom path cultivation had just started, his wisdom path attainment level was too low, it greatly slowed down his deduction speed of these recipes. These last few days, Fang Yuan placed his attention on the Immortal GU recipe of Blood Deity. He slowly completed the Blood Deity recipe, finding out some details. Even if he refined Blood Deity, he would need a blood relation to use it. Killing a blood relation would allow him to obtain a Blood Deity from the power of Blood Deity Immortal GU. If this relative did not resist and contributed their life willingly, then the Blood Deity produced would be closely connected to the GU Immortal, it could be manipulated with ease. In contrast, if the relative carried hatred and anger, the Blood Deity might cause a backlash to the owner. This was the reason why Fang Yuan was trying to persuade Fang Zheng. If he had any other way to remove his immortal zombie status, he would use Fang Zheng for this instead. All in all, Fang Zheng had caused much trouble to Fang Yuan in the past. Fang Yuan was not going to let him off. Chapter 847, Blood Path Demon's Might. This matter was troublesome. There were actually many unconventional methods to make someone loyal. The GU Master World never lacked such methods. For instance, Enslavement Path was especially proficient in dealing with this issue. But to turn Fang Zheng into a blood deity, these methods could not be used. A blood deity was equivalent to another life form. During the moment the transformation succeeds, all the methods used on Fang Zheng previously would lose their effects. Fang Zheng's original thoughts and intentions would influence the blood deity. The power of a blood deity could certainly be foreseen. Because the lightning deities derived from blood deities were extremely powerful. Vicious Lightning Fiend was only a rank 6 GU immortal, but by relying on 3 lightning deities, he made challenges everywhere, and his reputation kept on rising as even rank 7 GU immortals lost to him. A blood deity was similar, it had battle strength on the level of a GU immortal. Adding 1 would mean a battle of 2 against 1. Adding 2 would mean 3 against 1. If the number increased further, it would become a group fighting on one side. Fang Yuan was only an immortal zombie right now, his cultivation could not advance, using numbers to make up for it was also only a temporary solution. All dreams, desires and ambitions were built on the premise of survival. Once one died, all would turn to dust. Blood deities could greatly raise Fang Yuan's battle strength, and Fang Yuan was also a blood path grandmaster. If one day, something went wrong, where Fang Yuan was hunted down and the situation turned dire, he could only choose to once again cultivate blood path, his old specialty. Time path, wisdom path, blood path. Fang Yuan was cautious and prepared for everything. He would never look down on making excessive preparations. However, the current situation was still not too bad. Converting Fang Zheng to my side cannot be done quickly, I need to take it slowly. No matter how much Immortal Crane sect has brainwashed him, with my methods, as long as I put in effort, I will definitely reach my goal one day. At present, the trade of both Guts GU and Regretful Spiders has been established, now I only have to wait for the transaction token to use Western Desert's Shao clan as a starting point, to openly enter Western Desert's market in the businesses of dragonfish and eerie fire dragon pythons. When that happens, I will be earning large amounts of wealth every day. My main priority for now is still refining change form Immortal GU. I have already eliminated most of the tough opponents, my placement in the top 6 is basically guaranteed. The only variable is Feng Jinhuang. Fang Yuan thought of the current situation and his plan. Because of her defeat to Fang Yuan, Feng Jinhuang learned the true usage of Dream Wings Immortal GU in advance. By exploring dream realms, her refinement path attainment had already reached quasi-grandmaster level. Exploring dream realms was truly the best shortcut to raise one's attainment level. Feng Jinhuang had Immortal GU with her, and also had her mother, Fairy Bai Qing, who took care of her wholeheartedly. The speed at which her refinement path attainment increased was simply absurd. Fang Yuan had to make accumulations over 500 years to become a quasi-grandmaster in refinement path. Meanwhile, Feng Jinhuang had caught up to him in such a short time period. During the 5 regions chaotic war in Fang Yuan's previous life, battle raged everywhere fiercely, forming an extraordinary era where countless champions emerged from the lower levels. In regards to this era, other than the 5 regions chaotic war and the turbulence in social order, dream realms were one of the main causes of it. Dream realms might be filled with dangers, but if one could explore them successfully, their foundation would be raised directly. This was an extremely great fortuitous encounter, allowing many minor characters to make astounding accomplishments. Often, what champions lacked was only an opportunity to develop. Know yourself and your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Feng Yuan had been secretly gathering much information on Feng Jinhuang's participation in the Refinement Path Convention. At first, her methods were rather clumsy, but after gaining some experience, she rapidly grew up into a strong opponent for Feng Yuan. Feng Yuan was familiar with the tests in the competition, thus his ability was overrated by the outside world. However, the duel with Feng Jinhuang was an unknown variable, it had not occurred in his previous life and thus his rebirth advantage could not be shown. I must pay attention to Feng Jinhuang. If I don't deal with this properly, I might even lose out on the infallible inheritance. But after passing this hurdle, I can use this precious opportunity to refine change form Immortal GU. Feng Yuan knew many inside details regarding the infallible inheritance. The top 6 winners would be rewarded with 6 success Dao marks, which would be imprinted on the GU master's body on the spot. Outsiders had no chance to seize them. However, even though it was named infallible, it was not a definite success. The success Dao mark could only eliminate the natural probability of failure during the process of refining GU. There was always a possibility of failure while refining GU. Even if there was no error from the person during the whole process, the refinement could still fail randomly. This was the failure probability. For instance, during the second round of the Refinement Path Convention at Flying Frost Sect, Feng Yuan refined 10 Ghost Fire GU. He did not make any mistake, but a Ghost Fire GU had exploded for no reason. There was also the time during the battle with Feng Wei when the Blue Peacock's head had inexplicably turned into ash when merging with the incomplete GU. During the whole process, there was no error with Feng Yuan's control over the fire. Later, when he succeeded in refining the GU, he had used the same method, without any changes. There were various opinions regarding this failure probability. The most popular reasoning was that it was because of laws. GU were the essence of heaven and earth. Why is it that they possess all sorts of mysterious powers? It was because they contained the natural laws of heaven and earth. Mortal GU contained meager traces of laws, while Immortal GU contained fragments. GU refinement was a process of combining these traces of laws into one, forming larger law traces. It was also reverse refining a larger law trace into smaller ones. Because it involved laws, there would always be situations where these laws would have subtle differences, and during the refinement, instead of merging together like the person wished, they would collide in conflict, ending up with the result of failure. Feng Yuan also accepted this reasoning and acknowledged it was sensible. The smaller the law traces, the fewer the characteristics, the more easy it was to combine them. This was why the lower the rank of the mortal GU, the easier they were to refine. The bigger the traces, the more differences in characteristics they would have from other traces, which made them more difficult to combine. At the level of Immortal GU, the law fragments had individual characteristics that were unique to themselves. So, all Immortal GU was unique, thus refining Immortal GU was extremely difficult to succeed. The success Dao marks in the infallible inheritance could remove the failure probability. One success Dao mark could at most be used in rank 6 Immortal GU. To succeed in refining rank 7 and rank 8, the success Dao marks required would not be just one. However, during the refinement process, if Feng Yuan made a major mistake in his technique, the Immortal GU refinement could fail. Even if there are no errors in the methods, and the failure probability was completely eliminated by the success Dao mark, but if the Immortal GU being refined already existed, then at the final juncture, the GU refinement would still fail. Immortal GU were unique. Since the Immortal GU already existed, it signified the unique characteristic law fragment had already condensed. Thinking of forming another of the same law fragment was impossible. As for the change form Immortal GU Feng Yuan was thinking of refining, he had not yet heard of any GU Immortal possessing it. Naturally, Feng Yuan based this on his previous life's memories, the information he gathered in this life, as well as using wisdom path methods to make deductions. Based on all this, the probability for change form Immortal GU to already be in existence was very low. If it truly existed and the GU refinement failed in the end, Feng Yuan could not do anything other than to admit his own bad luck. This was the harshness of GU refinement, and at the same time, the beauty of it. Central Continent, Truyong Mountain Range. Vicious lightning fiend slowly landed down on top of a mountain peak and gazed at the opposite mountain peak, where there was already a rank 7 demonic path GU Immortal. Vicious lightning fiend, you have challenged me, but if you can't put up a decent wager, I won't accept it. The demonic path rank 7 GU Immortal spoke. He looked middle-aged and vigorous. He was wearing tight-fitting martial arts attire with a red cape draping behind. His surname was Dan and his given name was Chao. he was known as Blazing Demonic Immortal. His main cultivation was Fire Path and his vicious reputation had spread far and wide. Ha ha ha, Vicious Lightning Fiend laughed heartily. Blazing Demonic Immortal, you indeed belong to the demonic path, speaking of benefits in all things. You are a strong opponent, so I specially prepared 1,500 kilograms of hibiscus branches. What, 1,500 kilograms of hibiscus branches? Dan Chao was moved. The wager Vicious Lightning Fiend put forward directly spoke to his deepest desires. Blazing Demonic Immortal Dan Chao snorted. It seems you made many preparations for this, even finding out my urgent need for hibiscus branches to refine Immortal GU. Alright, if I lose, I will give you 600 strands of 2/9 Thunder Heavenly Chi. The agreement is set. Both were people who came straight to point and were resolute. After setting the challenge agreement, they began the fight straight away. World Decimating Fire Crows. Blazing Demonic Immortal Dan Chao waved his hand. Untold numbers of fire crows flew, shrouding the sky and earth as they raised a boundless inferno. Lightning Dragon Purgatory. Vicious Lightning Fiend laughed strangely as he pushed forward with his hands open, emitting endless lightning bolts. Thunderbolts and lightning gathered into hundreds of lightning dragons that charged forward madly. Everywhere they passed, the landscape collapsed, displaying their terrifying might. Lightning dragons and fire crows clashed, causing the entirety of their surroundings to be filled with the red blaze of fire and the deep blue radiance of lightning. Boom boom boom. The explosions were unceasing. Blazing Demonic Immortal and Vicious Lightning Fiend appeared like mirages, as they moved extremely fast, clashing viciously several times in the midst of the hell of fire and lightning. They did not make any probing moves, they just used powerful skills in succession. Since Vicious Lightning Fiend challenged Blazing Demonic Immortal to increase his reputation, he had already gathered the necessary information. And since Dan Chao had agreed to Vicious Lightning Fiend's challenge, he also had made sufficient preparations and had enough understanding of Vicious Lightning Fiend, and also the confidence of attaining victory. After a while, Blazing Demonic Immortal used 3 different Immortal Killer moves in a row, leaving Vicious Lightning Fiend unable to make ground. Dan Chao could be said to be the strongest opponent Vicious Lightning Fiend had challenged since he exited seclusion. Regardless of cultivation level, immortal essence or the Tao marks on their bodies, Dan Chao surpassed Vicious Lightning Fiend. Vicious Lightning Fiend was losing but he was not panicking. This situation was within his expectations. In fact, he had also been at a disadvantage when challenging those rank 7 GU immortals previously. After all, his cultivation was only rank 6, this was a common situation when challenging higher ranked experts. Ha ha ha, this fire is truly interesting. Vicious Lightning Fiend suddenly raised his head and shouted, his eyes flashing sharply. His body shook and 3 lightning figures slowly flew out of his immortal aperture, attacking Blazing Demonic Immortal. Lightning deities that contained lightning path Tao marks. The battle strength of 3 GU immortals. Blazing Demonic Immortal quickly retreated, while Vicious Lightning Fiend took advantage of this to counterattack and turn the situation around. The battle raged on heatedly for an hour. It concerned enormous wagers and reputation, neither of them were willing to back down easily. The intense immortal essence consumption made both sides feel great loss. Dan Chao did not continue enduring this, and suddenly attacked ruthlessly. He had been planning this attack well in advance. Vicious Lightning Fiend could not dodge and had to face it head on. Boom! A huge explosion occurred. Vicious Lightning Fiend was sent flying while spitting out blood. Admit your defeat, Great Fire Demon True Body. Dan Chao suddenly turned into a giant blazing demon and chased with extreme speed. In a flash, the fire demon had closed in upon Vicious Lightning Fiend. No, I won't lose. Lightning Deity, detonate. In the moment of crisis, Vicious Lightning Fiend's ferocious nature was stimulated as he boldly self-detonated a lightning deity. Rumble. The lightning deity's self-detonation created a boundless clamor that could shake mountains. Vicious Lightning Fiend and Blazing Demonic Immortal Dan Chao were both in a heavily injured state, they were exhausted and their battle strengths had greatly reduced. Interesting, hand over both of your lives. Suddenly, a blood-colored light flew over, forming a battlefield killer move that enveloped both the wounded parties. Song Zixing, Dan Chao shouted in fear, recognizing this killer move. Chapter 848 Ambushing Song Zixing. Blood, blood, blood. The sky had blood-colored clouds, the ground was now beneath a sea of blood, all around in the air, there was blood-colored light. This was Song Zixing's personal creation, his signature battlefield killer move, Blood to Su. It was uniquely distinctive in Central Continent. Song Zixing had a strongly vengeful mindset. Previously, during an exploration, many gains were seized away by GU immortals from Tu Su City. Thus, after creating the battlefield killer move, he set out to take revenge. He turned the entire city into dust, and killed the 2 GU immortals in the city. His revenge succeeded. Song Zixing felt gratified. He wrote some words with blood in the sky above the rubble of Tu Su City. It took a while, but revenge came after a year. Today I arrived and used blood Tu Su. The name of the perpetrator is Song Zixing. From that day onwards, his battlefield killer move was named Blood Tu Su. Thus, seeing this scene, Blazing Demonic Immortal recognized that it was Song Zixing's attack. As expected, a moment later, a figure descended from the sky. Song Zixing was clothed in a blood-red robe. His body was long and sharp like a spear. His face was pale and he had a sharp nose. His gaze was ruthless like that of an eagle or vulture. As he descended, the blood sea went into turbulence as the blood-colored clouds rumbled like dragons or pythons. The surrounding blood-colored light flew into the sky. It was a dazzling sight. Song Zixing seemed like the ruler of the world, a demonic god of the sun and moon. Song Zixing, why are you here? Blazing Demonic Immortal Dan Chao looked at Song Zixing as his face went pale. His expression was that of shock and anger, but also immense fear. Why can't I be here? Song Zixing turned around slightly to look at Dan Chao. He smiled lightly as his gaze was filled with killing intent. Dan Chao, back then when I lost to Feng Juzhe, you attempted to take advantage of the situation and ambushed me, attacking me with an immortal killer move. I've intentionally left behind the scar that you inflicted on me all this time. I have been waiting to take revenge on you, but you hid inside Truyong Mountain Range, causing me to be unable to find you. But you dared to accept Vicious Lightning Fiend's challenge, thus I came today to settle the score with you. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. Dan Chao sighed as he decided to give in. Lord Song Zixing, I am willing to apologize to you. He was a Grand Rank 7 GU Immortal, but he lowered his head instead of fighting. Song Zixing had a vast and mighty demonic reputation. He was on par with Shilei and had incredible battle results. Back when he was in Myriad Dragon Dock, he was renowned in Central Continent. After that, he betrayed them and escaped. Even though Myriad Dragon Dock pursued him and sent 8 GU immortals in successive waves, he killed 4 of them, crippled 3 of them, and forced 1 to retreat. This result caused a commotion in Central Continent. Song Zixing left scot-free. Myriad Dragon Dock went into a downturn. Its reputation was even lower than that of Immortal Crane Sect. It became the worst among the 10 great ancient sects. Only until now, when Vicious Lightning Fiend came out of closed cultivation, did they start to regain their status. Of course, Song Zixing had experienced defeat as well. His most famous loss was against Feng Juzhe. Feng Juzhe only used 3 moves and Song Zixing was defeated completely, escaping frantically. But this loss did not tarnish Song Zixing's reputation. Because his opponent was Feng Juzhe, and he could escape and live, this was something no one could look down on. In fact, practically all demonic path GU immortals were skilled in escaping. Song Zixing was particularly skilled in this aspect. Apologize. Hearing Blazing Demonic Immortal's words, Song Zixing showed a mocking expression. If you had been like this and understood your position earlier, I would not have chased you until you hid inside Truyong Mountain Range. Lord, please speak. As long as I can obtain your forgiveness, I am willing to pay the price. Dan Chao said melancholically. If you want to obtain my forgiveness, it is very simple, hand your life over to me. Song Zixing said nonchalantly. Dan Chao lifted his head, his expression was pale as he spoke with grief and indignation. Song Zixing, are you really not letting me off? Let you off? This demonic path overlord raised his head and laughed. I, Song Zixing, will always take revenge. When Tu Su City's GU immortals took what was mine, I murdered the entire city and people inside. Back then, you ambushed me. It is already my greatest kindness that I am not torturing you before killing you. Are you still not satisfied? Today, you are doomed to die. Saying this, he turned around and looked at Vicious Lightning Fiend. Oh right, you are still here. Didn't you claim to want to challenge me? I am here now. He spoke mockingly, like a cat playing with its food. Vicious Lightning Fiend was trying to heal himself now. The explosion earlier had given him a wound that was not small. He was still using his methods, but he raised his head and said, Song Zixing, you were a GU immortal from Myriad Dragon Dock. In terms of seniority, you are my senior. A challenge is definitely needed. But today, since you are here to seek revenge, I will not interfere. Let me go or I will self-detonate my lightning deities and force my way out. Your immortal killer move, Lightning Deity, is indeed impressive and can create a strong enough force to break open my blood Tu Su. But so what? Can you escape? Think about it, can your escaping methods surpass my blood rainbow flash in terms of speed? Song Zixing laughed arrogantly. It sounded like he was trash-talking, but his words were actually attempting to decrease their fighting spirits. But at the next moment, Song Zixing's expression changed, his gaze towards Vicious Lightning Fiend turned grim as he shouted, "Something's wrong. With your personality, how can you back off at this moment?" In terms of acting, Vicious Lightning Fiend was inferior to the demonic path Gu Immortal Dan Chao. In Song Zixing's view, a flaw was found immediately. At once, Song Zixing's heart was pounding, the blood in his heart was surging and crashing into his blood vessels, attacking the inner walls of his heart. This was his immortal killer move, Heart-Blood Premonition. Even though it was a blood path technique, it could mimic wisdom path and deduce dangerous or favorable circumstances for Song Zixing. An intense feeling of danger assaulted Song Zixing's heart. "This is a trap," Song Zixing growled, he wanted to leave. Lightning Lock, Lava Chain. At this moment, Vicious Lightning Fiend and Blazing Demonic Immortal Dan Chao, who were fighting, joined forces and attacked Song Zixing together. Song Zixing sneered, the blood sea beneath his feet rose up, creating huge red waves that were imposing and grand. The huge blood waves blocked the lightning and lava. Meanwhile, Song Zixing turned into a bloody rainbow and vanished on the spot. This was an immortal killer move, Blood Rainbow Flash. It was extremely fast. He flew out of the battlefield killer move, Blood to Su, immediately. Song Zixing was very resolute, he discarded even the blood path immortal Gu that he used to construct the battlefield killer move, he flew out and tried to retreat. A few breaths later, the bloody rainbow had already flown an enormous distance. The bloody rainbow vanished, Song Zixing's figure appeared in the air, he looked down at the unchanging mountain below him as his expression turned ugly. "Oh no, I'm in an illusion." His mind worked quickly, as the sense of danger intensified, he realized that this was a trap from his enemies. He quickly flew back and tried to regain control of the battlefield killer move, Blood to Su. But at this time, a total of 16 Gu Immortals appeared, with incredible auras surging in the air. They attacked together, 16 immortal killer moves landed on Song Zixing. Boom boom boom, dazzling light shined on the cruel or emotionless faces of every Gu Immortal. After the light faded, Song Zixing could be seen to be in a pitiful state. His face was covered in soot, as his black robe was tattered. A layer of blood-red armor was around his body, as he looked around him in anger. "This is Heavenly Lotus Sex Illusion Garden. What great handiwork, you even brought your immortal Gu house to deal with me. And the rest of you, did the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent join up?" Song Zixing was furious but also perplexed. He was a demonic path Gu Immortal, but he had been moving around and hiding without being too rampant. Recently, he did not commit any great crimes, why were there so many people teaming up against him? But soon, Song Zixing understood. To be able to force all 10 great sects of Central Continent to work together, this must be an order from Heavenly Court. That's right, Song Zixing, you understand it yourself. Junior brother Vicious Lightning went around challenging people, it was the arrangement of a wisdom path Gu Immortal, in order to lure you. Junior brother's lightning deity was derived from blood deity, you have been wanting this immortal Gu recipe, and with blazing demonic immortal being your enemy, you were finally attracted to this place. But you were too vigilant, you had been following behind Vicious Lightning Fiend and watched him go through more than 10 different challenges previously without striking. Only after Vicious Lightning Fiend self-detonated a lightning deity did you get baited successfully. He, you are so hard to catch. To make you show up, we in Ancient Soul Sect, Heaven's Envy Manor, and Spirit Butterfly Valley had 3 Wisdom Path Gu Immortals collaborating to interfere with your immortal killer move, Heart-Blood Premonition. This prevented you from sensing the danger in advance. The 3 rank 7 Gu Immortals who were leading the group spoke slowly one by one. The other 13 Gu Immortals were all rank 6. At this point, some people could not control themselves anymore, they charged up. Song Zixing, you killed my elder brother and raped my sister-in-law, I will tear your skin and bones apart, ah. Song Zixing, you will definitely die today, I will take revenge for Sun Clan's 730 people today. Song Zixing was an evildoer, he caused many tragedies. But those who had the strength to take revenge on him were few. Many Gu Immortals who offended Song Zixing lived in fear, they were afraid that he might take revenge on them one day. Blood Dragon Song Zixing had a strong thirst for revenge, that was well known to everyone. Blazing Demonic Immortal was one of them, he was chased down by Song Zixing, he had to hide inside Truyong Mountain Range. But because Song Zixing was forcing him to his limits, this demonic path GU Immortal was willing to undergo such a realistic show with Vicious Lightning Fiend and the others. 8 rank 6 GU Immortals attacked Song Zixing. The GU Immortals from the 10 ancient sects of Central Continent remained in the air, they formed a tight encirclement. The GU Immortals who were currently fighting Song Zixing were lone cultivators. These people were contacted by the 10 ancient sects, they had deep hatred towards Song Zixing. Song Zixing's crimes were all targeted at small forces, he tried not to cause trouble with the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent. But he was a person who had successfully escaped fate, killing him would help the healing of fate GU greatly. With Heavenly Court's orders, the 10 great ancient sects had to stop fighting between themselves and work together to kill Song Zixing. Song Zixing was attacked from all sides, he was in a disadvantage. Without any way to fight back, he could only choose to escape. His speed was very fast, the name of Blood Rainbow Flash was famous in Central Continent, his speed rose at once, the Central Continent lone cultivators were left in the dust behind him. Chapter 849, Successful Escape. Song Zixing, the day has come where you get what you deserve. Aren't you called the Blood Dragon? Don't run if you have guts. Blood Rainbow Flash was extremely fast and very nimble, the pursuing GU Immortals used killer moves to obstruct him but there was little effect, the distance between them was growing. But the Immortal GU House, Illusion Garden, was set up already, they were not afraid that Song Zixing would escape. The scene became quite strange, a group of people were chasing after Song Zixing with immense hatred, their killing intent was overflowing like fire, but they could not reach him. He is as slippery as an eel. The GU Immortals from Central Continent's 10 ancient sects did not chase him, they observed the situation and used some immortal killer moves from time to time. Song Zixing was still quite dangerous, his battle result in fighting the pursuers from Myriad Dragon Dock made people feel apprehension. That was why Central Continent's 10 ancient sects invited many lone cultivators. In their plan, these lone cultivators were cannon fodder, they were meant to probe Song Zixing's methods and waste immortal essence he had stored up. Without immortal essence, even if Song Zixing was a blood path GU Immortal, his battle strength would fall. This cannot go on, Song Zixing is only wholeheartedly escaping, we are unable to force out his trump cards. A while later, a Central Continent GU Immortal spoke. Many other people frowned. Don't you find it strange? Song Zixing is called the Blood Dragon, his violent Blood Dragon bat has rank 7 battle strength, but he has not used it yet. All along until now, he has been escaping without truly attacking. He, what are you afraid of? Song Zixing is already trapped by the Immortal GU House, Illusion Garden. The biggest flaw of our ambush was the duration needed to set up Illusion Garden. Now that Song Zixing is already trapped, his demise is only a matter of time. We cannot be careless. Blood Path GU Immortals cannot be judged with common sense, maybe he is searching around everywhere for a flaw. Maybe he has powerful reinforcements. Therefore, stalling for time. While they were guessing, the voices of the 2 rank 7 GU Immortals from Heavenly Lotus sect resounded. Everyone, it is time to strike, mobilizing the Immortal GU House is very taxing, we cannot drag this on for long. In truth, along with Vicious Lightning Fiend and Blazing Demonic Immortal Dan Chao, a total of 20 GU Immortals had ambushed Song Zixing. Vicious Lightning Fiend and Blazing Demonic Immortal Dan Chao were bait, the 2 rank 7 GU Immortals from Heavenly Lotus sect did not show up, they were controlling the Immortal GU House secretly. The remaining 16 GU Immortals showed up to fight Song Zixing. Mobilizing the Immortal GU House caused great expenditure to their immortal essence. Especially a complete Immortal GU House like Illusion Garden, it was far more taxing than using an incomplete Immortal GU House like Profound Ice House. Even rank 7 GU Immortals could not sustain it for long. The GU Immortals of the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent were rushed, most of them entered the battle, only 3 rank 7 GU Immortals were overlooking the situation in case of any accidents. Song Zixing was still escaping, he did not fight back. I've heard of how fast Blood Rainbow Flash was long ago, now that I see it, it truly is amazing. It is even faster than my Cloud Shock Sail, it is also as fast as Purple Heaven Lightning Wings, a movement killer move that is in the top 10 even in Central Continent. Not only is it fast, it is agile, it can twist and turn around easily, it has all-around capability in terms of mobility. What a pity. The 3 rank 7 GU Immortals were evaluating. They felt some regret, an outstanding movement immortal killer move like Blood Rainbow Flash could not be obtained easily. If they could get it, they would be able to retreat at will, they would be able to save their own lives when escaping. But this was a blood path killer move. Even if righteous path GU immortals get it, they could not use it, unless they betrayed the righteous path and went into the demonic path. Back then, Song Zixing betrayed his sect and went to the demonic path. Other than conflicts with his sect, the main reason was that he could not resist the allure of blood path's strength. As the GU immortals from Central Continent's 10 sects joined in, Song Zixing's situation got worse. Their encirclement became tighter. Everyone joined forces. Even though Blood Rainbow Flash was fast, it had its limits. Eventually, he was trapped. Demons are meant to be slain. Die. Kill Song Zixing. Eventually, they trapped Song Zixing in the center. Many lone cultivator GU immortals struck and attacked Song Zixing. They did not get close. They attacked with long-range methods. Song Zixing was making them feel wary by not fighting back. These lone cultivator GU immortals were not idiots. They knew the reason why Central Continent's 10 great sects invited them to ambush Song Zixing. But they were willing to be cannon fodder, because they had intense hatred with Song Zixing, irreconcilable to the point that only one side could live. GU immortals were still humans. They were afraid of dying. If not for Song Zixing's overbearing attitude, causing them to live in fear daily, they would not attempt this. From this, the advantage of vicious lightning fiends' lightning deities could be seen. Having the battle strength of GU immortals and not fearing death, they could be produced in batches. This was terrifying. Thankfully, each lightning deity was formed by paying a huge price, and they needed a huge sum to be maintained. The GU immortals were prepared. Their attacks landed on Song Zixing. He tried to dodge, but there was little space. He took a heavy beating. At once, he was blown to pieces. Blood splattered everywhere. Oh no, this is not Song Zixing's real body. Seeing this, the immortals were stunned. They realized the truth. Be careful of Song Zixing's sneak attack. How did he conceal himself? My investigative killer move could not find him. Stay calm. We are inside the Immortal GU House Illusion Garden. He cannot escape. Search carefully. GU immortals were all experienced people. They quickly calmed down. Even if Song Zixing wanted to attack them by surprise, he could not find a chance. The immortals displayed their abilities. They searched quickly but they made no progress. Their gazes quickly focused on Blood Tu Su. Someone realized, oh no. Song Zixing never came out. His real body has always been inside the battlefield killer move. Vicious lightning fiend and blazing demonic immortal Dan Chao are in danger. Since the beginning, Song Zixing's battlefield killer move, Blood Tu Su, had been encased like a red egg, floating in the air. The immortals did not destroy this battlefield killer move, firstly because their attentions were attracted to Song Zixing. They were also unwilling to help Vicious Lightning Fiend. He had been challenging people everywhere, gaining huge reputation, as a person who was quite unreasonable. All of the 10 sects of Central Continent, including Myriad Dragon Dock, wanted to suppress him for a bit. In addition, destroying Blood Tu Su would also expend a lot of immortal essence. Thus, Blood Tu Su was, accidentally forgotten, by the immortals. The fundamental problem now was that because they were strong, they underestimated the enemy. The immortals realized they were fooled by Song Zixing. Overcome with rage and embarrassment, they charged towards Blood Tu Su. Blood Tu Su was not an immortal GU house, it was only a battlefield killer move. Under the intense attacks, it trembled intensely. 3 breaths later, Song Zixing removed the battlefield killer move. Blood Tu Su collapsed. Song Zixing laughed loudly as he flew out in a bloody rainbow. Blazing demonic immortal Dan Chao was dead. His corpse was held in Song Zixing's hands. Meanwhile, Vicious Lightning Fiend was heavily injured, falling into a coma. Only one lightning deity was left. It was very weak and was guarding around Vicious Lightning Fiend. If they were slightly later, Vicious Lightning Fiend might have been killed by Song Zixing. But Song Zixing was also heavily injured. His left arm was completely amputated up to his shoulder. The battlefield killer move, Blood Tu Su, isolated itself from the world, becoming an independent area. Furthermore, Song Zixing had special methods and prevented Vicious Lightning Fiend or Dan Chao from seeking help from the outside world. Song Zixing was able to kill blazing demonic immortal Dan Chao and send Vicious Lightning Fiend into a coma when surrounded by everyone. This was a huge humiliation. The GU immortals were furious, anger was rising in them. If news spread, how would they face anyone? Kill Song Zixing. Blood Dragon deserves death, he should not live in this world. Removing evil for the people of the world, upholding justice. At once, GU immortals attacked. All sorts of immortal killer moves and battlefield killer moves were sent towards Song Zixing. Song Zixing laughed arrogantly. Blood Rainbow Flash was used again and he evaded most of the Immortal killer moves. Next, he raised blazing demonic Immortal's corpse and said, "Thanks for the gift, now, I'll return it to you." Detonate. Blood red light burst into the sky, as a shocking explosion occurred. The Immortals were sent flying, but Song Zixing was completely unharmed at the center of the explosion. The blood path Dao marks in his body were shining brightly, protecting him. Illusion Garden shook heavily, a crack opened from his intense attack. Blood Rainbow Flash. In the blink of an eye, Song Zixing vanished. He escaped the Immortal GU house and flew beyond the vision of the GU Immortals. Chase him, he was hit by my Immortal killer move, I can sense him. How can a Grand Immortal GU house become damaged to the point of cracking? The Immortals growled as they chased him. The two rank 7 GU Immortals from Heavenly Lotus sect retrieved their Immortal GU house and joined in. Their expressions were ugly. It is that violent blood dragon bat. Song Zixing arranged for it to be outside. It crashed into Illusion Garden and self-detonated. Together with Song Zixing's internal attack, a crack was formed. The violent blood dragon bat was an ancient desolate beast. Its battle strength was equivalent to a rank 7 GU Immortal. The force of its self-detonation was quite extraordinary. Furthermore, Illusion Garden was only maintained by 2 GU Immortals. They could not react to the explosion in time, allowing Song Zixing to forcefully create hope during that desperate situation. The Immortals would not give up like this. They chased him with gritted teeth. A battle of pursuit appeared on Truyong Mountain Range. The pursuers had huge numbers, a total of 17 GU Immortals. 1 GU Immortal from Myriad Dragon Dock was staying behind to take care of Vicious Lightning Fiend. But now at this point, the battle was no longer controlled by the Righteous Path GU Immortals, they had fallen into Song Zixing's tempo. Song Zixing was a demonic cultivator, and was most skilled in escaping. I cannot go outside immediately, this Truyong Mountain Range is the best hiding spot. I lost my violent blood dragon bat, after I escape, I will definitely settle the score. Song Zixing's expression was twisted, this loss was making him feel loss. He swore inwardly, as he used Blood Rainbow Flash to turn and land on a mountain. Inside Truyong Mountain Range, there were countless fierce beasts. In the chase, large numbers of desolate beasts and even ancient desolate beasts were disturbed. They created a lot of problems for the pursuers behind Song Zixing. Song Zixing was well aware, the more chaotic the situation, the easier he could find a chance to slip away to freedom. 3 days later, late at night, the moon was hanging in the sky, a dim blood-red light moved along the ground as it flew out of Truyong Mountain Range. Clank. Suddenly, a metallic sound was heard, as a golden bell phantom covered the blood-red light. An injured GU Immortal appeared. He shouted, "Song Zixing, where do you think you are going?" Just as he said that, Song Zixing, who was inside the golden bell, vanished. In his place was a palm and a small section of his forearm. Oh no, this is a fake, the true body is there. The GU Immortal's expression changed, he turned around and flew towards another direction. Long afterwards, a figure appeared quietly from afar. It was Fang Yuan. He was wearing a mask, his body was covered in a thin layer of smoke as he walked towards the golden bell phantom silently. Looking at the arm in the bell, he showed an expression of joy. Chapter 850, Blood Demon Body Separation, breaking the bell for the arm. Immortal killer move Blood Demon Body Separation. Fang Yuan looked at the severed arm in the golden bell phantom as he muttered. According to the greater than, after he betrayed Myriad Dragon Dock and defeated the pursuers, he hid his tracks and cultivated with all his effort, developing rapidly. He had great foresight, he understood his own situation, thus he devised this killer move. During the current Central Continent Refinement Path Convention, the 10 great sects ambushed and attempted to kill Song Zixing, but he escaped in the end. This was also the first time Blood Demon Body Separation was displayed, shocking the entirety of Central Continent. The reason why Song Zixing could escape was attributed to this. This immortal killer move could create a clone in a short period of time. The clone had great speed that could rival Blood Rainbow Flash. Furthermore, it was very realistic and deceptive. Even investigative immortal killer moves could not see a flaw in it. However, this method had a huge price. It needed a body part of the person to create the clone. They also had to expend a huge amount of immortal essence as the energy source to maintain the existence of the clone. The more immortal essence consumed, the longer it could exist. There were many methods for GU Immortals to regrow their limbs, but Blood Demon Body Separation's cost was not only superficially losing the limb. In truth, it expended the body's blood path Dao marks. Precisely because of these blood path Dao marks, blood demon body separation could achieve such a wondrous effect. If it did not pay a price in blood path Dao marks, the clone body from blood demon body separation would not be able to pass off as the real person. When ordinary GU immortals were hurt, for example, if Fang Yuan lost half his body, the strength path Dao marks on him would be taken in by his immortal aperture. When his body recovered, the strength path Dao marks would go back to his body. When a GU immortal dies, all of the Dao marks on them would go to the immortal aperture, for example, Hu immortal blessed land. If Song Zixing successfully used blood demon body separation, even if he regrew his limb later, the new arm would be blank, all of the blood path Dao marks on it would have been used up. Undeniably, the loss of Dao marks was an incredible cost to GU immortals. Because Dao marks were hard to obtain, they could often only be accumulated after going through heavenly tribulations and earthly calamities. Each heavenly tribulation or earthly calamity would require the GU immortal to risk their lives. Once their immortal aperture was damaged, all of the resources that they own would be destroyed. Thus, the cost of obtaining Dao marks was very high for GU immortals. This also showed the value of each strength immortal GU. But Fang Yuan could be certain that Song Zixing did not have an immortal GU like each strength. The blood path Dao marks that he lost would have to be regained from calamities and tribulations. The Dao marks on a GU immortal could amplify the power of immortal GU and immortal killer moves. This amplification was quite terrifying. Rank 8s could have an amplification with a multiplier of hundreds or even thousands. That was also why rank 7 GU immortals could rarely beat rank 8 GU immortals. The greater than had said that Song Zixing escaped and survived. Eventually, he was only left with a head and half a chest. The rest of his body was discarded to use blood demon body separation. After this battle, the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent lost face. Not only did they not reach their goal, they were toyed with by Song Zixing and suffered casualties. Song Zixing also suffered huge losses. He lost an ancient desolate beast violent blood dragon bat, and most of the blood path Dao marks on his body were destroyed. After this battle, he did not publicly appear for 200 years. For a period of time, there was no information on him. People suspected that he was dead. But when he reappeared in the world, not only did his battle strength recover fully, he even nurtured 3 violent blood dragon bats. Fang Yuan had a clear understanding of the ambush of Song Zixing. He looked at the severed arm with a heated gaze. This severed arm came from Song Zixing, it was a part of his body. If Fang Yuan obtained it, he could use his GU refinement techniques to create Song Zixing's head. And Song Zixing's head was the only requirement to be acknowledged as star form blessed land's owner. Land spirits were straightforward existences. As long as Fang Yuan could hand over Song Zixing's head to it, he would become the owner of star form blessed land. Star form land spirit would not care if Song Zixing was alive. It was just an obsession formed by fusing with the blessed land's heavenly power. Fang Yuan could become its owner in this way. Even if one day, Song Zixing were to appear alive and well in front of the land spirit would not betray Fang Yuan. Because Fang Yuan had already met the requirements that the land spirit had. But at this time, it was troublesome for Fang Yuan to collect this arm. Breaking the bell was not hard, but once the golden bell phantom was broken, the arm would explode and turn into a mist of blood. Fang Yuan needed to use other methods to deal with the severed arm, otherwise his plan would fail. In fact, Fang Yuan had quite a deep impression of this arm. His current location was at the periphery of Truyong Mountain Range, near Yuanyang City. Song Zixing's severed arm was contained by an immortal killer move. The GU immortal who used the move was busy chasing Song Zixing and left this severed arm behind. As time passed, this golden bell would disappear after one night, and the severed arm would explode into blood mist. By then, the blood mist would cover up to a few hundred li of area, causing huge issues to the surrounding living beings and creating disasters. Hundreds of years later, Yuanyang City would send out missions to recruit geniuses and explore the blood mist, killing the blood beasts that grew inside, preventing the blood beasts from forming into a beast tide and attacking Yuanyang City. In his previous life, Fang Yuan lived in Yuanyang City for a period in time after reaching Central Continent. In order to survive, he accepted the missions to kill blood beasts. From this perspective, Fang Yuan was doing a good deed by taking Song Zixing's severed arm in advance. Fang Yuan observed it for a while before carefully using some mortal killer moves to probe it. The golden bell phantom did not move, it was indeed an immortal killer move. Fang Yuan surrounded the golden bell phantom and continued to circle around it. Observing it from all angles, he tried to find an appropriate method. The golden bell was not still, it was rotating slowly, the severed arm was floating inside, blood-colored light could be seen flickering inside. Fang Yuan went around it over a dozen times, before having a plan. He was about to strike when his ears twitched, he heard some noises. Explosion, did you guys hear it? Yes, saw a mystical light. Treasure, maybe it is. Random voices could be heard at intervals, they were getting closer to him. Fang Yuan immediately realized that surrounding GU masters were drawn over by the commotion. This location was at the periphery of Truyong mountain range, desolate beasts did not normally come here, and because this was near Yuanyang City, many GU masters were active here. The Immortal killer move from the GU Immortal earlier caused golden light to fly into the sky, it earned a lot of attention and the GU masters came here to investigate it. A bunch of insects. Fang Yuan sneered, a cruel light flashed in his eyes. At his will, strength path phantoms flew out of his immortal aperture. Soon, there were thousands of strength path phantoms surrounding Fang Yuan. Each time Fang Yuan went out, he would store a large number of strength path phantom in his immortal aperture. That was because using myriad self to create the strength path phantom army required some time. Kill, Fang Yuan instructed, as thousands of strength path phantoms attacked, rushing down and blending into the dark night. What are those things? Ah, gather into a formation, quickly gather into a formation. Run, cries, screams, and furious shouts were heard, a battle of life and death ensued, in just a few breaths' time, the GU masters were routed. Fang Yuan's phantom army attacked mercilessly, countless GU masters died, the bloody smell spread to Fang Yuan's location very quickly. Fang Yuan's arms were behind his back, he looked at the golden bell phantom, his expression calm under his mask. Even though he had a method already, he did not strike yet. Haste makes waste. Even though the strength path phantoms were powerful, they could not use investigative methods, they also could not boost their speed. Some GU masters might not give up, and try to conceal themselves and sneak in. But these people would all die without an intact corpse. Because Fang Yuan was here, he used dozens of investigative killer moves without pause, putting layers and layers of arrangements here. No movements could evade his search. Unlimited primeval essence had an advantage, that was the casual use of mortal killer moves, one could use mortal killer moves almost endlessly. And because of the accumulations of Fang Yuan's previous life, he knew better mortal killer moves that surpassed this era. Fang Yuan waited for a while, as expected, 3 or 4 GU masters sneaked in. Fang Yuan manipulated the strength path phantoms and according to his manipulation, charged over to kill these GU masters who were courting death. Impossible, how did they find me? Spare, please spare me. Ah, the GU masters had nowhere to hide, they were all killed. After a while, the surroundings became quiet, the smell of blood became thicker as birds could no longer be heard near the trees, the place was completely silent and dead. Fang Yuan started to make his move. Myriad self first style, giant hand. A strength path giant hand appeared out of nowhere, grabbing the golden bell. The golden bell phantom restrained was what held inside, it had little defense on the outside. After adding in pulling mountain and pulling water, Fang Yuan's strength path giant hand had grown rapidly in strength. It only needed to grasp hard and the bell would break. But the thing was, how could he prevent the severed arm from exploding into a mist of blood after the bell was broken? Thankfully, Fang Yuan was not only a strength path grandmaster, but also a blood path grandmaster. Like Song Zixing, he knew many blood path methods. He had planned for this over a long time, he made ample preparations. Immediately, he started his arrangements and focused. Over 100 blood path killer moves were used in sequence, coordinating with each other. An even greater number of GU formations were used on the outside, there were layers upon layers of them. After the arrangements were done, he observed again to make sure there were no flaws in his setup. He found that there were 2 errors and changed them, he then did a 3rd, 4th, and 5th check. This was an important matter, Fang Yuan had a lot of patience. In the end, when he struck, everything was under his control. The golden bell phantom broke, and the arm was going to detonate, but it was restrained and had layers of seals placed on it. Song Zixing was already extremely weak when he used this arm to activate blood demon body separation, he used less than 10 beads of immortal essence on it. That was also the reason why Fang Yuan could obtain this severed arm. Chapter 851, Land Spirits Master, Second Blessed Land. After obtaining the severed arm, Fang Yuan carefully kept it in his immortal aperture. Soon after, he cleaned up the area and removed all his traces. Returning to Hu Immortal Blessed Land, he did not rest, he started working on the severed arm, spending 4 days and 3 nights to turn it into Song Zizing's head. Next, he used fixed immortal travel and went to Earth Abyss. Star form land spirit, I brought Song Zizing's head. In the eerie and dark underground world, he shouted. A speck of starlight first appeared, before light burst out like water from a fountain. A breath of time later, a huge squarish door made of starlight appeared. The half-transparent door was floating in the air. At the top, there were 4 words written on the plaque, Starform Blessed Land. Fang Yuan squinted as he looked at it. Ordinary blessed lands and grotto heavens had entrances. Because the entrance represented interaction, and with interaction, they could take in heaven and earth chi to strengthen the small world. Thus, infallible blessed land was very unique, because it did not have entrances, it was a very strange exception. As Fang Yuan waited, a small slit opened in the starlight door. It's you really brought Song Zizing's head. A voice came from behind the slit. Starform land spirit did not appear, he was quite wary. Fang Yuan chuckled as he tossed the head over. Actions speak louder than words. The slit opened a bit more, a suction force moved the head over to it. It really is Song Zizing's head. A joyful and surprised voice came from behind the door. Boom! The door opened completely, starlight opened up a path for Fang Yuan, as Starform land spirit stood at the door, saying to Fang Yuan with cheerful submission, Starform land spirit greets master. Fang Yuan nodded, his expression was calm, he took huge steps and walked onto the starlight path, entering into Starform blessed land. The moment he stepped in, starlight overwhelmed Fang Yuan's vision. But in the blink of an eye, the starlight faded, and Starform blessed land's unique terrain appeared before him. The whole of Starform blessed land resembled a giant bowl. Like a bowl, the edges were interconnected mountain ranges, they formed a tight circle that resembled city walls. And within the bowl, they were slanted slopes that converged towards the center. Darkness enshrouded this world. Fang Yuan raised his head and looked at the sky. There was nearly complete darkness, only a few starlight specks were shining weakly in the sky. Like how Immortal blessed land only had days without nights, Starform blessed land only had nights without days. Normally, blessed lands would not have changes between day and night. Only after becoming a grotto heaven or becoming close to a grotto heaven would they start having such transformations between night and day. This was not the first time Fang Yuan was here. In fact, he was the one who placed down this blessed land. Last time, the stars were shining in the sky, it was very bright and dazzling, the ground was very bright due to all of the starlight. But now, it was quite dim, it showed that Starform land spirit was not having an easy time managing the place. This was to be expected. Without a GU immortal, the blessed land could not produce immortal essence, the land spirit and the blessed land were interlinked, it had to protect itself and manage the blessed land. But how could land spirits have the strength and wisdom of GU immortals? Thus, most land spirits would find a master to help themselves. Survival was the most basic instinct in all living beings, the only difference was the difficulty in getting the land spirit to acknowledge a new master. Fang Yuan's gaze swept across the area, before it landed on Starform land spirit. Bring me around to inspect the blessed land. Fang Yuan ordered. Starform land spirit looked like a little boy, he was floating in the air. He was wearing pinkish blue clothes wrapped around his chest and stomach, his small arms and legs were tender white like lotus roots, looking delicate like jade, he appeared very cute. After acknowledging Fang Yuan, Starform land spirit looked towards Fang Yuan with a clear gaze filled with admiration and warmth. Hearing Fang Yuan's words, Starform land spirit nodded, Master, follow me. This attitude was completely the opposite of previously. A lump of starlight gathered on Fang Yuan, as his body flew up rapidly. This speed was extremely fast, even Song Zizing's blood rainbow flash could not match it. Fang Yuan felt his vision blurring, all he saw was starlight around him, he could only catch occasional fuzzy images from the quickly moving scenery. The starlight stopped moving, and the scene in his vision had already changed. Master, you are at the southeast side of the blessed land now. This is the Arrow Bamboo Forest, the biggest plantation area in the entire blessed land. Starform land spirit introduced. Fang Yuan looked over, only to see that this arrow bamboo forest was huge, it extended beyond Fang Yuan's field of vision. The arrow bamboos were straight, they resembled green spear bamboo from Qingmao Mountain, but they were not jade in color, instead, the bamboo shoots were black and did not have any leaves growing on them, only branches. At each segment of the arrow bamboo, there would be around 3 branches growing on it. These branches were sharp and long, resembling arrows. Below the arrow bamboo forest were large numbers of star cave rocks, countless dark fragrance mushrooms and a field of white shadow grass. Fang Yuan nodded his head internally. The arrangement of this habitat could not be done any better. If I am not wrong, this should be the production area of Star Dart GU. Fang Yuan asked. Master is correct, Star Form Land Spirit answered immediately. Star Dart GU was a rank 1 mortal GU, it was transformed from ordinary insects. This was different from the production of Starlight Firefly GU. Starlight Firefly GU were a part of the Starlight Firefly group, produced after they transformed and mutated. Star Dart GU could be produced from any type of insect which entered deep sleep inside a star cave rock that was filled with holes on the surface. After a total of 49 days, a portion of the slumbering insects would undergo a change and become Star Dart GU. The food of Star Dart GU was the bamboo juice of the arrow bamboo forest. The arrow bamboo forest was hot and humid, the bamboos themselves would produce bamboo juice that dripped out. In the past, the bamboo juices produced would form into a thick blue fog. It was a top-quality place to raise Star Dart GU. Unfortunately, I have not obtained any good watering liquids, thus it became like this. Star Form Land Spirit said with a longing tone. It seems I have to buy moon well water in batches. Fang Yuan muttered. He was very knowledgeable, he knew what water the arrow bamboo forest needed. Master is knowledgeable, Star Form Land Spirit added, his expression becoming excited. Even though Star Lord Wansheng left behind quite a bit of immortal essence, there were few immortal essence stones. And because Star Form Land Spirit was worrying over his finances, he could not buy goods from Treasure Yellow Heaven casually. Compared to watering the arrow bamboo forest, there were other areas which needed the financial support more urgently. Afterwards, under the guidance of the Land Spirit, Fang Yuan went to the north area of the Blessed Land, inspecting the meteorite pits. This was the place to raise stellar fire GU and produce falling meteor GU. Next, he went to the center of the Blessed Land. This was a lake with ripples and reflecting light. It was huge and was called Broken Star Lake. This was also the place to rear GU worms. It produced Star River GU. Next, he went to several grassy fields. They were all full of star fragment grass, a vast number of them. They were planted on black soil. The blades of grass were plump and shiny. They were much higher in quality compared to the ones that were planted in Immortal Blessed Land. Arrow bamboo forest, meteorite pit, broken star lake, star fragment grass field. Fang Yuan floated in the air, looking at the lake. He showed a satisfied expression. The 4 areas mentioned were Star Lord Wanzhang's 4 main sources of revenue. Star Lord Wansheng was quite decent in his development. He mainly sold Star Dart GU, Stellar Fire GU, Falling Meteor GU, Star River GU, and Starlight Firefly GU. While Fang Yuan was still searching desperately for 4 sources of revenue, he already had them. At the moment, Fang Yuan only had Guts GU and Regretful Spider trades. The other 2, Eerie Fire Dragon Pythons and Dragonfish, were still not sold in the market yet. Star Lord Wansheng had rank 6 cultivation level with 1 heavenly tribulation past. He was also a lone cultivator, but he was higher in cultivation level than Immortal. According to his status and foundation, it would normally be impossible for him to develop his blessed land to this extent. But he had his fortuitous encounter. That was Starry Sky Grotto Heaven. The owner of Starry Sky Grotto Heaven, 7-star child, became an immortal zombie in order to prolong his life. While exploring star constellation Immortal Venerable's dream realm, he fell into deep slumber. Star Lord Wansheng had by chance discovered that Starry Sky Grotto Heaven connected to a spatial crack in the outside world of Central Continent. Every year, at a certain time, this crack would open. Thus, Star Lord Wansheng would go in every year to scavenge for resources to strengthen himself. Even though he had limited time on each occasion, he entered many times. Star Lord Wansheng thus had decent development. His immortal aperture was smoothly growing in value with each passing day. He surpassed most lone cultivator GU immortals. Even Shilei praised his blessed land inwardly when he saw it. This Star Lord Wanzhang's foundation was already on par with typical rank 6 GU immortals in the 10 great ancient sects. But it was a pity that Star Lord Wansheng was heavily injured by Song Zixing, and because his tribulation was impending, he had to take a risk. He invited Immortal Monkey King Shilei to explore Starry Sky Grotto Heaven. In the end, at the 8th star hall, he fell into star constellation Immortal Venerable's dream realm. His soul was destroyed and only his body was left. Fang Yuan took the body and placed the blessed land in Earth Abyss. This led to the development of future events, like Starform Land Spirit's requirement for becoming the new owner. With these 4 sources of revenue, my financial power will double. I will be swimming in profits, I will really be drowning in immortal essence stones. Fang Yuan was overjoyed. Star Lord Wansheng had operated his blessed land for a long time, he had already slotted himself into the market and had his own share of the economy in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Fang Yuan inherited his blessed land, he had also gotten over the difficult initial stage of entering the market, he took over Star Lord Wansheng's businesses directly, it saved him lots of trouble. Ordinary resources like Star Dart GU and Stellar Fire GU were usually sold in bulk quantities, they were very competitive in the market. It was not easy to carve out a share for oneself in the market, they would be collaborated against, facing price wars, or some GU immortals might even threaten to kill them. As the saying goes, ruining a person's wealth is akin to killing their parents. The GU immortal world was very cruel, if you want to do business, you need to show your strength. Without strength, no matter how flourishing your business was, you would get killed and plundered. Thus, Fang Yuan was always very careful with the dragonfish and eerie fire dragon pythons that he had. He wanted to make use of Shao Clan's transaction token to enter Western Desert's market. That could avoid much trouble, and allow him to earn more profits. Of course, for monopoly businesses like Guts GU, you could sell them as you wish. Others could not even compete in this, they could only watch and envy. After inspecting the blessed land, Fang Yuan was very pleased, but there was still something that he was highly anticipating. Land Spirit, bring me to see those immortal GU in the blessed land. At the next moment, he instructed the Land Spirit. Chapter 852, 3 Immortal GU, all are useful. The whole of Starform Blessed Land was like a giant bowl, and its center was also the location which was at the bottom of the terrain. There was a lake here that spanned as far as the eye could see, its name was Broken Star Lake. And the place where Star Lord Wansheng normally cultivated was also set at the bottom of Broken Star Lake. Reaching the bottom of the lake, Fang Yuan discovered a crystal palace, it was not large, and only had one main hall along with 2 normal halls. Star Lord Wansheng's immortal GU were kept in the main hall. Under the guidance of Starform Land Spirit, Fang Yuan smoothly entered the main hall. The moment he entered the main hall, he saw an immortal GU flying around. This immortal GU resembled a centipede, it was thin and long, like an arm, and black like iron. It was flying around in a zigzag fashion inside the main hall, the short horizontal segments on its body lit up like blue fireflies every now and then. This is a rank 6 immortal GU, Star Mark, it can temporarily add 600 Star Path Dao marks onto Master's body. Star Form Land Spirit aptly introduced. 600 Dao marks. Fang Yuan was startled, even the Strength Path Dao marks on his body numbered no more than 200. This was the case after he had been using Eat Strength Immortal GU recently to add over 40. However, this Star Mark Immortal GU could actually cause an increase of 600 Star Dao marks at once, it could be said to be an outstanding ability. 200 Dao marks can increase power by 20%. 600 would mean a 60% increase. Unfortunately, they are Star Path Dao marks, and I am not a Star Path GU Immortal. There was no doubt this Star Mark Immortal GU was a high-quality support type Immortal GU. Fang Yuan was a Strength Path GU Immortal and his body carried Strength Path Dao marks, but once he activated Star Mark Immortal GU, his body would be temporarily covered in a layer of Star Path Dao marks, letting him disguise himself as a Star Path GU Immortal. Besides Star Mark, there were 2 other Immortal GU in the main hall. One was like a prismatic crystal, the size of a fist. It was quietly lying on a desk, without any movement. Another was like a tender white bean sprout, filled with an air of vitality. Through Starform Land Spirit's introductions, Fang Yuan knew the crystal-like Immortal GU was Starlight Immortal GU, while the bean sprout-like Immortal GU was known as Star Shoot. Fang Yuan could not help feeling joyous. Fortune had arrived. These 2 Immortal GU had much more use to Fang Yuan than Star Mark Immortal GU. Because Starlight Immortal GU was a necessary GU material for the production of the Wisdom Path Star Thought GU. Now that he had Starlight Immortal GU, he could completely imitate the use of Strength Chi Immortal GU in refining Airsac GU, to refine Star Thought GU much faster and on a much larger scale. The Starlight Immortal GU removed the troublesome step of purchasing Starlight Immortal GU. At the same time, with Immortal GU as the foundation, there would be a much lower failure probability in refining Mortal Star Thought GU. The risk involved would also be greatly mitigated, reducing the deaths of hairy men by a large degree. There were 2 issues created by this, however. The first problem was, to use Starlight Immortal GU, Fang Yuan would have to modify the recipe of Star Thought GU. The second issue was that using Starlight Immortal GU would consume Immortal Essence. With Wisdom GU and the complete Star Thought GU recipe, Fang Yuan would have no problems in modifying the GU recipe, it was just a matter of time. As for the second issue, it would have indeed been a problem for Fang Yuan in the past. But now, Fang Yuan was Star Form Blessed Land's owner, he had 6 sources of revenue and it would even increase to 8 in the future, his Immortal Essence Stone earnings would quadruple. Such an amount of Immortal Essence Stones made Fang Yuan have the confidence to spend Immortal Essence constantly in activating Starlight Immortal GU. Starlight Immortal GU increased the accumulation of Star Thought GU by a large extent, which was of enormous assistance. And Star Shoot Immortal GU was also very useful. Fang Yuan had once purchased a mortal killer move from Star Lord Wanshang, called Spring Star Rain. This move irrigated the land, providing nutrition to vegetation and increasing their productivity. Ever since he got this move, Fang Yuan had been using it again and again. The grassland in the sky of Hu Immortal Blessed Land was able to maintain its current scale, it largely could be attributed to this mortal killer move. Frequent activation of Spring Star Rain consumed large numbers of Star Shoot Mortal GU. Star Shoot GU were only sold by Star Lord Wanshang. Fang Yuan had once thought of freeing himself from Star Lord Wanzhang's control by researching the refinement recipe of Star Shoot GU. But even with Wisdom Gu's help, as Fang Yuan's star path attainment was only ordinary, he could not get what he wished. At this point, Fang Yuan had Star Shoot Immortal GU, and from now on, he would be able to use Spring Star Rain to his heart's desire. He could also raise Spring Star Rain to the level of an Immortal Killer move and use Star Shoot Immortal GU as the core to further increase the yield of Star Fragment Grass. But Fang Yuan learned from Star Form Land Spirit, Star Lord Wanshang did possess the Immortal Killer move Spring Star Rain. In fact, the mortal killer move, Spring Star Rain, which Star Lord Wanshang sold was a simplified version of his original Spring Star Rain. The Star Shoot GU that Star Lord Wanshang sold were also refined by using Star Shoot Immortal GU. This was the reason why Fang Yuan found it difficult to reverse deduce the GU recipe from Star Shoot GU. The reason was that Star Lord Wanzhang's GU refinement method was done from top to bottom. Star Mark, Starlight and Star Shoot, these 3 Immortal GU were all the Immortal GU left in the Blessed Land. Star Lord Wanshang had a total of 4 Immortal GU. Unfortunately, the 4th Immortal GU was destroyed in his battle with Song Zixing. Fang Yuan was thus able to obtain only 3. And he was already very satisfied with this. Generally speaking, in the entirety of the 5 regions, there were few rank 6 GU Immortals in possession of Immortal GU. Most of them were still using Mortal GU and Mortal Killer moves. Only the elites among rank 6 would be in possession of rank 6 Immortal GU. For instance, rank 6 GU Immortals of Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects, and another example would be lone cultivators like Star Lord Wanshang who had fortuitous encounters. Northern Plains' situation, however, was special. Because of the collapse of 88 Truyong Building, the rate of GU Immortals possessing Immortal GU far surpassed the other 4 regions. In fact, Central Continent was actually in last place among the 5 regions in regards to the ownership rate of Immortal GU. It couldn't be helped, they had the most GU Immortals after all. Fang Yuan's situation was even more special. Not counting these 3 Immortal GU, Fang Yuan already had 14 Immortal GU. No one would believe it if such a number was told to them. Not to mention, among these was rank 9 Wisdom GU. Generally, even if one killed an enemy GU Immortal, it was hard for them to get Immortal GU as spoils of battle. When Fang Yuan attacked Dongfang Chongfan, he had a huge advantage and had captured even Dongfang Chongfan's soul alive. But Dongfang Chongfan had made all the Immortal GU self-detonate with a thought, and Fang Yuan could not even grasp even one of them. Star Lord Wanshang was an exception. Because he strayed into Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's dream realm, he died unexpectedly without making any reactions. Thus his Immortal GU were left behind and benefited Fang Yuan in the end. These 3 Immortal GU still had Star Lord Wanzhang's will, but with Star Form Land Spirit's assistance, it would not be a big problem to subdue them. Master, this is the immortal inheritance held in the Blessed Land, please have a look. The Land Spirit handed an inheritance to Fang Yuan. It turned out that this was Star Lord Wanzhang's first fortuitous encounter. A GU Immortal inheritance regarding Star Path. It was this inheritance that guided the lone cultivator, Star Lord Wanshang, on his path of cultivation to become a rank 6 GU Immortal. Star Lord Wanzhang's second fortuitous encounter was discovering the entrance of Starry Sky Grotto Heaven from where he plundered many resources. His luck was actually quite good. Star Lord Wan Zhang's main cultivation was Star Path, and Starry Sky Grotto Heaven was also a Star Path Grotto Heaven, thus, they were both very compatible in terms of resources. Unlike Fang Yuan, who was a Strength Path GU Immortal, while Hu Immortal Blessed Land was of Enslavement Path and the Guts GU produced by Dang Hun Mountain were of Soul Path, these multiple aspects were not too compatible with each other. Unfortunately, Star Lord Wan Shang still died in the end, and everything he had was now Fang Yuan's. Fang Yuan stayed for a whole day in Starform Blessed Land. He inspected a small tribe of rockmen in the Blessed Land as well as the 3 desolate beast-level spine-fin star dragonfish. While he was alive, Star Lord Wan Shang had used every possible effort to bring in this small group of rockmen. He did not have Guts GU, and Starform Blessed Land was also not a suitable environment for the survival of rockmen. As a result, many rockmen had died. It was not easy for him to maintain this small group. The 3 spine-fin star dragonfishes were captured from Starry Sky Grotto Heaven. There was no shortage of desolate beasts inside there. The reason he spent such large amounts of effort and capital was because Star Mark Immortal Gu's food was the fresh meat of spine-fin star dragonfish. And Starlight Immortal GU fed upon the bodies of rockmen. As for Star Shoot Immortal GU, its food was large quantities of dark star kelps. This type of kelp grew in great amounts in Broken Star Lake. This was the orthodox situation of GU Immortals. Whatever path they cultivated, their immortal GU would be of that path, and their immortal aperture would mostly have Dao marks of that path. In this way, they could bear the burden of feeding immortal GU by raising the required food themselves. Unlike Fang Yuan, whose strength path immortal aperture was dead, who immortal blessed land was an enslavement path immortal aperture, and the immortal GU on him were of strength path, wisdom path, soul path, luck path and other various paths. He had to get help from the outside world to feed these immortal GU. Every time, he had to rack his brains and the situation was unstable. In fact, Cleanse Soul Immortal GU had yet to be fed properly to this day. Whether it was Hu Immortal Blessed Land or his Strength Path Immortal Aperture, they both had sparse Soul Path Dao marks, and thus even if he wanted to, it was not possible for Fang Yuan to raise White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU. By becoming the owner of Starform Blessed Land, Fang Yuan's strength had doubled. 3 Star Path Immortal GU, 4 economic pillars, a complete Star Path inheritance. Fang Yuan would need a lot of time to absorb them fully. He also made Starform Land Spirit keep up the request of recognizing the Blessed Land's owner in Treasure Yellow Heaven, to fabricate an image of Starform Blessed Land still not having an owner. And he also did not plan on telling the truth to Heilu Lan and Tai Bai Yunsheng for a while. The longer he could conceal it, the longer he would conceal it. Hu Immortal Blessed Land was already exposed, Starform Blessed Land was also in a partially exposed state, but only Heilu Lan knew this location. If, in the future, he became a fugitive, this base would be extremely important. Regarding Dang Hun Mountain and the resources inside Hu Immortal Blessed Land, Fang Yuan did not plan to move them away for the moment. The resources had been arranged just recently and large amounts of capital were invested. If he moved them to Starform Blessed Land, with how astute Heilu Lan was, wouldn't she realize it? The following day, Fang Yuan went to participate in the Refinement Path Convention. With the huge influence from the large-scale competition, Central Continent was facing a surge of popularity in GU refinement among all the people. The news of the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent collaborating to ambush Song Zixing and failing had yet to be spread. Knowledge of this was limited to GU Immortal level higher-ups. The 10 great ancient sects had lost much face. There was still no news about Song Zixing, making it appear to be a joke to other sects or lone cultivator GU Immortals. Many GU Immortals moved one after another, searching for any traces left behind by Song Zixing in Truyong Mountain Range. But how could they find anything? In Fang Yuan's previous life, Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects searched for over 100 years to maintain their reputation, but were still not able to find him. Song Zixing's hiding ability was simply divine, even Fang Yuan could not match him in this. Thus, Fang Yuan had no thoughts of chasing after Song Zixing from the very beginning. Finally, the agreed-upon date arrived, the day of the duel between Fang Yuan and Feng Jinhuang. Although it was not a competition, it attracted quite a large audience. Feng Jinhuang, you want to duel, but first let me see the wager. If the wager is too low, this duel will not begin. Fang Yuan spoke in full view of everyone. Whether they dueled or not, what Fang Yuan wanted was only to be in the top 6 places for the infallible inheritance. Moreover, losing in the duel would not eliminate either side or influence their rankings. Feng Jinhuang had already made preparations, secretly transmitting her voice. My wager will definitely interest you deeply. Fang Yuan, you are an immortal zombie and certainly know the pain of immortal zombies. What I have with me is a method which can let you revive. Chapter 853. Dueling Feng Jinhuang 1/4. A revival method. Fang Yuan's eyes narrowed, a clear change appeared in his expression. Spirit Affinity House was truly worthy of being one of the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent, its foundation was deep beyond imagination. Fang Yuan had painstakingly searched for a way to get rid of his immortal zombie status and revive, and Spirit Affinity House actually had a way. At this moment, when Feng Jinhuang placed this method as the wager, it directly touched upon Fang Yuan's core interests, making him unable to refuse. He. Fang Yuan laughed, restraining his agitated mood as he looked at Feng Jinhuang. Tell me, this method would not be Immortal Crane Sect's possession technique, right? Of course not. Feng Jinhuang smiled indifferently. I am indeed interested in your wager. But this wager is still far from matching my Immortal Blessed Land. The value of all things vary. Fang Yuan, if you were given the choice of either Immortal Blessed Land or revival, which would you choose? Of course it would be reviving. Fang Yuan chose with no hesitation inwardly, while also speaking with no hesitation. Of course it would be Immortal Blessed Land. This is my biggest foundation, even though I have become an immortal zombie, I can maintain a good living by relying on it. Feng Jinhuang's lips twitched as she shook her head, softening her tone. Fang Yuan, you are not likely to be such a short-sighted person. But, I know you won't put Immortal Blessed Land as your wager, and I also cannot forcibly demand you to do so. Let's talk about something more practical. If I lose, I will tell you the method of revival. You can rest assured that this method already has a successful precedent. But if you lose, we can undergo transactions. Fang Yuan looked at Feng Jinhuang's slight smile and confident appearance, he narrowed his eyes and asked, What transactions? Feng Jinhuang replied, if you lose, you need to make a deal with Spirit Affinity House to supply Guts GU for the long term. The price can be discussed as long as it doesn't overstep the limit. But you must deliver them in time and in adequate quantity. If you lack souls, Spirit Affinity House will sell them to you, and the price will even be 30% lower than the market price. These transactions must take precedence, even over those of Immortal Crane Sect. No matter how many Guts GU you have, you must first supply them to Spirit Affinity House before selling to other places. Hearing this, Fang Yuan could not help but look at Feng Jinhuang in a different light again, having a completely new opinion in regards to this young girl in front of him. He had not expected her to mature to this degree in just this period of time. As expected of a genius. No, rather than that, it should be said that she has capable people behind her and was educated well. Feng Jinhuang's demand, as far as Fang Yuan was concerned, was truly lenient and could even be said to be too generous. But Guts GU, to Feng Jinhuang, was an urgent need. The reason, Feng Jinhuang could explore dream realms with Dream Wings Immortal GU. Even with the help of the Immortal GU, her soul would still feel weakened and could be injured. Guts GU was among the highest quality soul-strengthening method in the whole world, even Spectral Soul Demon Venerable had praised it. Feng Jinhuang had originally challenged Fang Yuan out of juvenile temperament, it was an action taken in a fit of anger. But right now, the discussion about wagers with Fang Yuan was based on the present situation, it was practical and also concerned benefits. This was a mature action. If Feng Jinhuang had asked Fang Yuan to put Immortal Blessed Land or Dang Hun Mountain as the wager, Fang Yuan definitely would not agree. And although Fang Yuan was using Immortal Crane Sect's name, the relation between him and Immortal Crane Sect was well known by all the 10 great ancient sects. Fang Yuan absolutely had no qualms in regards to Immortal Crane Sect's reputation and would definitely agree to Feng Jinhuang's duel with this. Thus, Feng Jinhuang made this request. To Fang Yuan, selling Guts GU to Spirit Affinity House naturally had its benefits. The first benefit was he could increase the sales volume, earning much more Immortal Essence Stones. Who would not like having more Immortal Essence Stones? The second benefit was that Fang Yuan would have a connection to Spirit Affinity House. If one day, he fell out with Immortal Crane Sect, he would have an alternative path. In fact, Fang Yuan's original intention in accepting Feng Jinhuang's challenge had been to cooperate with Spirit Affinity House. As Feng Jinhuang explored the Dream Realm multiple times, she realized the value of Guts GU and wanted to obtain some of the benefits from Immortal Crane Sect. And Fang Yuan was also willing to do this. If he truly reached a deal with Spirit Affinity House, it would also be extremely helpful to him in managing his relationship with Immortal Crane Sect. Regardless of victory or loss, this duel is beneficial to me. Anyway, the result of the duel has nothing to do with the competition. Something is wrong, her request is also to lower my will to fight. Fang Yuan suddenly had a realization and understood another layer of intention behind this move from Feng Jinhuang. Let's start then, the final winner of this contest will be me. Fang Yuan's eyes shined brightly as he laughed heartily. Feng Jinhuang's gaze flashed. That is not for certain. The wagers were set, both sides began to discuss of the contents of this duel. Feng Jinhuang suggested refining River Wave Trace GU as the task. River Wave Trace GU was a rank 5 Water Path GU worm, and formed a series with rank 3 Water Trace GU, rank 4 Wave Trace GU and rank 6 Worldly Wave Trace Immortal GU. Fang Yuan immediately refused. Spirit Affinity House specialized in cultivating and using Water Path GU worms, this could be seen from the Immortal GU House, Water Pavilion. If the task was set to refine River Wave Trace GU, Feng Jinhuang's advantage would be too big. Fang Yuan suggested refining Blood Steps GU. This was a rank 3 Blood Path movement type GU worm. Feng Jinhuang also refused outright. What a joke, who did not know Fang Yuan was proficient in Blood Path refinement techniques, and Feng Jinhuang did not have confidence in refining Blood Path GU. The two discussed for a while before finally settling on a rank 5 Fire Path GU worm, 5 Orifices Fire Pagoda GU, and it would be done in a martial duel. The duel would not be private, but be a completely open contest like the Refinement Path convention. Soon, similar materials appeared in front of the two sides. To maintain fairness, both sides were provided with the same GU recipe. The winner would be the side that could successfully refine 5 Orifices Fire Pagoda GU first. Unlike the previous contests, because it was in the martial duel format, whenever they reached a specific stage, both refiners would have a chance to attack each other once. Under everyone's gaze, Fang Yuan and Feng Jinhuang sat opposite each other, each occupying an end of the stage with a gap of around 260 steps between them. The duel began. Fang Yuan immediately inspected the refinement materials. He needed to have a complete understanding of every material. If some materials were defective, it would greatly influence the GU refinement. Fang Yuan checked very carefully. Sometimes the task organizers would intentionally supply some defective materials and even tamper with them so the defects are hidden, causing the GU master to not be able to easily detect them. If they were truly deceived, it would cause quite a problem when refining the GU. This arrangement had practical significance. Usually, when refining GU masters would not always be able to gather perfect refinement materials. Sometimes, there would be some damage because the materials might have been stored for too long, or perhaps damaged when being transported or seized in battles. Or there might be substandard refinement materials sold in the market, which would have to be distinguished by the GU master themselves. Thus, inspecting GU refinement materials was a part of refinement path attainment. In this duel of refining 5 Orifices Fire Pagoda GU, the convention supplied as many as 1,000 types of materials. There was not a single GU worm, they were all grass, flowers, stones, bones and so on. Fang Yuan inspected all the materials, using an entire hour. Afterwards, he inspected the GU recipe provided by the convention. There were altogether 5 GU recipes, rank 1, Single Aperture Charcoal GU, rank 2, Double Orifice Stove GU, rank 3, 3 Orifices Fire Hut GU, rank 4, 4 Orifices Fire Tower GU, as well as rank 5, 5 Orifices Fire Pagoda GU. These 5 GU worms were a series, sharing the same origin. The first step in refining 5 Orifices Fire Pagoda GU was to refine large numbers of rank 1 Single Orifice Charcoal GU. Then, using the Single Orifice Charcoal GU as the main materials to refine Double Orifice Stove GU. From rank 1 to rank 2 to rank 3 to rank 4, and then from rank 4 to rank 5, finally refining 5 Orifices Fire Pagoda GU. It was because there were many steps and the process was cumbersome, both sides were provided with 1,000 types of GU refinement materials. With Fang Yuan's wisdom path methods, he could modify the GU recipe and cut down on some steps of the GU refinement process. He could even directly refine 5 Orifices Fire Pagoda GU with the materials provided. However, after some thought, Fang Yuan gave up on the idea and decided to move step by step. There were many reasons. First, he was unable to rely on wisdom GU here. Second, modifying GU recipes took a lot of time, and there would only be more losses than gains. Moreover, this was a martial duel, both sides could attack 5 times in total to disturb the GU refinement. If a GU recipe to refine it directly was used, once the process was disturbed, the previous efforts would be wasted. It was more stable to move step by step. While Fang Yuan was inspecting the GU refinement materials, Feng Jinhuang was checking the GU recipes. While Fang Yuan was inspecting the GU recipes, Feng Jinhuang meticulously checked the refinement materials. The order was different, but when they started the GU refinement, it was almost at the same time. They have finally begun. They used up over an hour to inspect the materials and the GU recipes. They are really patient. This contest concerns the face of Immortal Crane sect and Spirit Affinity House. It is a battle of reputation of two of the ancient sects. The spectators started talking. Some were in favor of Feng Jinhuang while some thought highly of Fang Yuan. There were also two factions that had formed in the audience. The numerically greater disciples of Spirit Affinity House were in a mutual showdown of glaring with Immortal Crane sect's disciples. The elders leading Immortal Crane sect's group had ugly expressions. Fang Yuan had placed Guts GU as the wager without reporting to the higher-ups of Immortal Crane sect, and they were not feeling good about this. At first, Fang Yuan and Feng Jinhuang's refinement techniques were the same. During this process, Fang Yuan used his skilled refinement techniques to gradually surpass Feng Jinhuang, progressing faster and slowly obtaining a slight lead. After all, Fang Yuan had the practical experience of his previous life, while even though Feng Jinhuang used Immortal GU to explore the dream realm and improve her refinement path attainment quickly, she still lacked tempering in putting them to practice. To catch up to Fang Yuan, Feng Jinhuang used a refinement path killer move. Double action. Her hands trembled, and the lump of fire she was maintaining suddenly split into two, forming two fire lumps. Refinement path killer move, small wishful hand. Two small and compact hands flew out of Feng Jinhuang's mind, completely formed from will, emitting a jade luster. Feng Jinhuang's two hands constantly regulated and controlled the intensity and the temperature of the two fire lumps, while the two small wishful hands grabbed materials and threw them into the fire. Wonderful! Using two killer moves consecutively. Feng Jinhuang is well prepared, now her speed is much faster than that of Fang Yuan. Clamorous discussions were being exchanged between the spectators. Chapter 854. Dueling Feng Jinhuang 2 quarters. Using two immortal killer moves consecutively. Under the mask, Fang Yuan's gaze was sharp as a knife. But he immediately turned his gaze towards the fire in his hands. Phew, that was close. Outside the stage, a female disciple of Spirit Affinity House breathed out a sigh of relief. Senior Sister Qinhuan, what was close? I clearly saw first Senior Sister Jinhuang use two refinement path killer moves in a row, catching up immediately. Another female disciple of Spirit Affinity House was sitting beside Qinhuan. She had a chubby face, her name was Sun Yao, and she asked this curiously. Junior Sister Sun Yao, you need to understand that this duel is different from what we've seen before. This is a martial duel. In martial duels, the refiners can attack to disturb the other side's refinement. Qinhuan explained patiently. Ah, they can do that. It is already so hard for me to refine GU normally, but if I were to be disturbed on top of that. Heavens, Sun Yao pursed her lips, revealing an expression showing that she did not even dare to imagine such a thing. This martial duel format is clearly meant to make one suffer. Whoever thought of this is really strict. No, Qinhuan, however, had an expression of approval. Being able to resist disturbances is one of the most important aspects of refinement path. In our cultivation journeys, perhaps one day we would suffer a sneak attack when we are refining GU. In fact, many times when we leave the sect to complete the sect missions outside, because of all sorts of damage that may occur to GU worms, we often have to refine new GU in the wild. Using the same logic, when we are facing a strong enemy and discover the enemy refining GU, we would also choose to sneak attack and take the enemy by surprise, turning the situation in battle in our favor. This is the practical significance of the martial duel format. Junior Sister Sun Yao, you also know GU masters have to use all their concentration during the refinement process, because slight carelessness can result in failure and backlash. But, when you refine GU outside, you also need to pay some attention to your surroundings. First Senior Sister Jinhuang used two refinement path killer moves in a row just earlier. That was a risky move. Because the moment she activated the killer move, the entirety of her attention was naturally focused on the GU worms forming the killer move. If it were an ordinary GU master, they might have already lost control over the flames and failed in GU refinement if they had to divert their attention in activating the killer move. If at this moment, Fang Yuan, that demon, had attacked first Senior Sister Jinhuang, it might have caused significant trouble to her. Hearing Qinhuan's explanation, Sun Yao came to a realization. So it was like that, then that truly was dangerous. Fortunately, that demon Fang Yuan did not attack. Because Fang Yuan had, time and time again, used blood path refinement techniques at crucial moments. Disciples of Spirit Affinity House who disliked him privately called him a demon. However, there were, in fact, many demons in the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent. For instance, the third supreme elder of Immortal Crane sect, Lord Tiger Demon, was a demonic path GU Immortal in his early years before he was recruited by Immortal Crane sect. The sect that exhibited this the most was actually Spirit Affinity House itself. The late Sword Immortal Bo Ching was a person of the demonic path with an extremely murderous nature, but was reformed through love with Spirit Affinity House's Fairy Mo Yao. In the end, Bo Ching was recruited into Spirit Affinity House. At present, the story of Fairy Bai Ching and Feng Jiuzhe was widely spread, and Feng Jiuzhe was formerly of the demonic path as well. Central Continent was so large and was famous for producing outstanding champions. Once in a while, there would be some astonishing demonic cultivators and lone cultivators that would shake the world. To maintain control of the overall situation and to protect their interests, the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent would recruit these people. It was the best method to effectively retain their authority. He did not attack. That's a pity, Feng Jin Huang inwardly sighed. Out of the 2 lumps of fire burning in front of her, one suddenly extinguished. What's going on? People in the audience involuntarily exclaimed. Don't tell me that demon, Feng Yuan, had already attacked and disturbed first senior sister, causing half the GU refinement to fail. This demon is too cunning. What attack did he use? We did not even see it. Sun Yao anxiously cried out, her tone filled with loathing towards Feng Yuan. No, that's not right. The elder hosting this duel did not say anything. This means that demon, Feng Yuan, did not attack. So it was like that. Qin Wan's eyes brightened as she suddenly came to a realization. Originally, first senior sister had put up a facade of using 2 killer moves. It was a trap meant to entice Feng Yuan to attack her. If Feng Yuan attacked, his mind would be focused on his attack at that instant, which would expose a weak point. First senior sister would then have a higher chance of successfully counter-attacking. My goodness, was that actually the case? Sun Yao's small, chubby mouth opened wide in shock at the battle of wits behind this contest. Qin Wan had a serious expression. I was also deceived just now. The truth of the matter is first senior sister set up a trap, but that demon Feng Yuan saw through it and was not fooled. Junior sister Sun Yao, watch closely, this contest is going to be extremely splendid. The contest between these two is absolutely the best of this generation. Okay, Sun Yao nodded, her eyes staring at the stage without blinking. The 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent had always fiercely competed. Not only did their GU immortals compete, the disciples also had a similar type of competition. There was no doubt that Feng Jin Huang was the best of this generation within the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent. However, in the contest for who immortal blessed land, Feng Yuan suddenly appeared and kicked Feng Jin Huang down the mountain. As for the events behind the scenes, they were not explained to disciples like Sun Yao and Qin Wan, and even Immortal Crane sect's own disciples and most of their elders thought Feng Yuan was a genius disciple, secretly nurtured by the sect. In the previous round, Feng Jin Huang was defeated, and this duel, in which Feng Jin Huang wanted to reclaim her prestige, involved a contest between the best disciples of the 10 great ancient sects. It was a hidden clash between Spirit Affinity House and Immortal Crane sect. Thus, almost all of the audience was asking a question: who was the best GU master among the younger generation? What they did not know was, Feng Yuan had already become a GU immortal. Although he was only an immortal zombie, he was already someone they could no longer decipher. Meanwhile, Feng Jin Huang possessed Dream Wings Immortal GU, and had already activated it, gaining enormous benefits. Bystanders could only see such surface details, but both competitors did not see much importance in the reputation aspect. Feng Jin Huang had already matured a lot and realized what benefits meant, while Feng Yuan was way beyond her maturity. The competition continued. Feng Yuan had seen through Feng Jin Huang's trap, but between Feng Jin Huang's 2 killer moves, small wishful hand was real. It was unlike double action, that had only been a facade. With the help of the 2 small hands made of will, Feng Jin Huang's refinement speed was slightly above that of Feng Yuan. And as time passed, the gap between the two gradually increased. However, this gap was not obvious. Feng Yuan maintained his rhythm, and using solely GU refinement techniques without any killer moves, he maintained the fire and was now almost finished processing the materials. He used GU refinement techniques and not refinement path killer moves. Techniques were the summation of purely skills and experience. They were the foundation of GU refinement. Very skilled. Even though he is the enemy, I cannot help but admit this demon, Feng Yuan, has a very solid foundation in GU refinement. Even some elders from our sect do not have as solid of a foundation as him. Qin Yuan suddenly sighed, after having watched fixedly for a long while. He has a grasp of so many GU refinement techniques, he has used at least 30 types by now. But I feel our first senior sister is still the more amazing one. She fell back a little at the start, but quickly caught up later. Now, no matter how that demon Fang Yuan pursues, he won't be able to catch up. This small wishful hand killer move is truly convenient, Sun Yao said, admiringly. No, Qin Yuan shook her head. First senior sister's lead might not necessarily be a good thing. Maintaining a killer move requires primeval essence and also is taxing upon the mind. On the contrary, that demon Fang Yuan has only been using basic GU refinement techniques, which do not have as much of a burden on the mind. As this continues over time, his mind will be less taxed than first senior sister's, which will be of great help in the later stages of GU refinement. Ah, it is like this. Then, isn't first senior sister in danger? Senior sister Qin Yuan, you are saying first senior sister gained a lead from using a refinement path killer move, but is instead in a disadvantage. Although your words sound reasonable, how could it be like that? Sun Yao felt a headache. Hee, junior sister Sun Yao, this is the brilliance of the refinement path convention. You have just begun your cultivation journey and have yet to come in contact with many things, you will slowly understand them in future. Qin Yuan smiled, but she was feeling heavy internally. This demon, Fang Yuan, is too skilled. He is keeping pace with first senior sister just by repeatedly using GU refinement techniques. Even though first senior sister used a refinement path killer move, she is not able to create a large lead. It can't go on like this. Feng Jinhuang was feeling some mental exhaustion. It had not been long since the competition began, and both sides were still at the stage of refining rank 1 single orifice charcoal GU. According to logic, Feng Jinhuang should still have plentiful mental energy, and not be in a state of exhaustion. However, estimates was one thing, the actual competition could be completely different. Feng Jinhuang could disregard the gazes from outside the stage, her talents were outstanding and with GU Immortals as parents, she had been the center of attention since she was young, she was already used to it. The pressure on Feng Jinhuang mainly came from Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan displayed an incomparably solid foundation, and was relying on just GU refinement techniques to maintain pace with Feng Jinhuang, while even though she had used a refinement path killer move, she was not able to surpass him greatly in progress. Fang Yuan's extraordinary performance and formidable achievements made the world overrate his attainment level. Feng Jinhuang had already been feeling pressure before the duel. After the duel started, Fang Yuan was in pursuit with a stable speed, which further increased the pressure on Feng Jinhuang. This pressure was greatly wearing down on Feng Jinhuang's mind. She was slowly starting to feel exhausted and uneasy internally. It seems my refinement path quasi-grandmaster attainment cannot match Fang Yuan's refinement path attainment. What should I do? Feng Jinhuang began to think and plan quickly, while refining the GU. I have used a refinement path killer move, my mind is also being worn down rapidly. The duel has only just begun, and as time goes on, Fang Yuan's advantage will become even more clear. But if I stop using the killer move and compete with just GU refinement techniques, I still cannot match Fang Yuan. My greatest advantage is the large numbers of refinement path killer moves that I carefully prepared. Chapter 855, Dueling Feng Jinhuang 3/4. The duel stipulated they could only use the materials provided by the convention. Although they could launch attacks and use refinement path killer moves, any methods affecting the soul or mind, like refreshing the mind or strengthening the soul, were completely prohibited. Feng Jinhuang was the one who set this rule, it was to prevent Fang Yuan from using Guts GU to strengthen his soul during the duel. The soul and mind were closely connected. Feng Jinhuang made this move to limit Fang Yuan's advantage in this aspect, but she had not expected she would be the first to suffer a drawback from this rule. Whoosh! Suddenly, Feng Jinhuang flicked her pinky finger, shooting out a speck of golden light. The golden light was extremely fast, reaching Fang Yuan in the blink of an eye, targeting the refinement flames in Fang Yuan's hands. If the golden light hit the fire, even with Fang Yuan's ability, the refinement would fail, he would have to bear the backlash and start over. However, how could a person as cautious as Fang Yuan not pay attention to the defense of such an important area? Ding! A crisp sound echoed, the golden light was 3 inches from the fire when it clashed into a formless barrier and was blocked. Fang Yuan's gaze was calm, the fire in his hands was not affected in the slightest. Feng Jinhuang's attack was blocked by Fang Yuan without batting an eyelid. Only after this attack had been defended did the GU masters outside the stage react. Spirit Affinity House's Feng Jinhuang was the first to initiate an attack. But the attack was blocked by Immortal Crane Sect's Fang Yuan. What was that attack just now? It was so fast. Feng Jinhuang made an error in her choice. How could Fang Yuan not defend such an important area? It might have been better to attack Fang Yuan directly instead and injure him. Look, Feng Jinhuang is using a refinement path killer move again. There was a clamor outside the stage, but in the stage, the scene was quiet, isolated from all the sounds outside. Attacking the enemy's vital points, then using this moment of relative safety to use another refinement path killer move. Fang Yuan glanced at Feng Jinhuang, coldly smiling inwardly. It seems you are using all your strength. Worthy of being Feng Jinhuang, even in your youth, you are deeply aware of your own strengths and weaknesses. I have to say this is a sensible choice. Fang Yuan praised her in his mind, but he continued to be unmoved, still refining Ji-Yu in the same way as before. Feng Jinhuang used up a precious chance to make a move to attack Fang Yuan's refinement flames, and also took this opportunity to use a second refinement path killer move. With the help of two killer moves, her refinement speed increased sharply, and gradually Fang Yuan was thrown behind. Without the pressure from Fang Yuan, Feng Jinhuang immediately felt slightly relaxed, a layer of tension inside her loosened, and her refinement speed further increased a little. In this duel, Fang Yuan and Feng Jinhuang each had 5 chances to attack. Because it was only a duel, not a life and death battle, the power they could use every time they attacked was limited to a certain level. The first time, they were only allowed to use rank 1 GU. The second time, they could use rank 2 GU. And so on, until the 5th time, where they could use rank 5 GU. It was the same with defense, they could only use GU worms of corresponding rank. This was another limitation to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was an immortal zombie after all, with an immortal killer move. If she was attacked by Giant Hand, it would be difficult for Feng Jinhuang to resist it. Of course, Feng Jinhuang had GU immortal parents, so she would naturally have immortal essence in her body along with immortal GU and the will or emotion of GU immortals. There was not a high likelihood of Fang Yuan truly killing her. This time, she is using 2 refinement path killer moves at once to gain a lead. Outside the stage, Sun Yao excitedly shouted. Yes, it is a pity she used one of the 5 chances to attack. But this is also a classic tactic, we still have to see the result of the refinement to determine the outcome. Qin Wan pondered as she gazed at the stage. Time continued to pass. Fang Yuan fell further and further behind Feng Jinhuang, but the strange part was that he was not the least bit hurried, seemingly having no intention to overtake Feng Jinhuang. Fang Yuan was still using GU refinement techniques, refining single orifice charcoal GU step by step. While Feng Jinhuang had already begun refining the rank 2 double orifice stove GU. Soon, praises and sighs could be heard outside the stage. Feng Jinhuang had used a 3rd refinement path killer move, increasing her speed once again. An hour later, Feng Jinhuang attacked Fang Yuan and took the chance when Fang Yuan defended. She used a 4th refinement path killer move. 4 killer moves were used together. There were 6 lumps of fire floating in front of Feng Jinhuang. Each lump was accompanied by a small wishful hand that constantly grabbed materials and threw them into the fire. With the help of the small wishful hands, the exact amount of the GU refinement materials thrown into the flames was extremely precise. From the help of 4 killer moves, Feng Jinhuang's refinement speed had long since surpassed that of Fang Yuan, and soon she started on 3 orifices fire hut GU. While Fang Yuan had just now begun refining double orifice stove GU. Looking at Feng Jinhuang advancing triumphantly, throwing Fang Yuan far behind, many were having doubts. What was Fang Yuan playing at? Sun Yao grinned. First senior sister's victory is guaranteed. Qin Wan was also a refinement path genius whom Spirit Affinity House paid great attention to, it was just that she had yet to mature. She was also in support of Sun Yao's words. If the situation continues like this, first senior sister has a high chance of victory. With my ability, my maximum limit is maintaining 5 refinement path killer moves. But this is the martial duel format, I must leave some energy behind to deal with Fang Yuan's attacks. Of the 5 chances to attack, I have already used 2, while Fang Yuan has only been defending. Could it be my conditions were too alluring that he is forfeiting? Feng Jinhuang could not understand Fang Yuan's behavior and felt some doubts for a moment. 15 minutes passed. Feng Jinhuang had made good progress in refining 3 orifices fire hut GU, she was past the halfway mark. Right now, Feng Jinhuang's dominance was extremely obvious, leading Fang Yuan by a huge distance. It is time to attack. Fang Yuan's gaze was clear, and as he sensed that the time was ripe, he sent out a GU worm from his immortal aperture. I am attacking, he suddenly spoke softly. Feng Jinhuang's attention was immediately attracted, her bright and beautiful eyes gazed at Fang Yuan, while continuing with her GU refinement. Finally attacking, but what is the reason for warning me beforehand? Feng Jinhuang was extremely cautious. Fang Yuan chuckled. Feng Jinhuang, be careful. This GU is the rank 1 Ghost Fire GU. Feng Jinhuang narrowed her eyes, a vigilant look flashed past her eyes as she began to think rapidly. It is certain to be rank 1 GU, this is Fang Yuan's first attack, so he can only use rank 1 methods. But it might not necessarily be Ghost Fire GU, maybe he showed that GU to mislead me. After all, a GU worm's external appearance can be disguised. I need to be extremely careful. While she was thinking, Fang Yuan activated the GU worm in his hand. The moment this GU activated, it transformed into a small lump of eerie ghost fire, which then slowly moved towards Feng Jinhuang. It is really Ghost Fire GU. Feng Jinhuang was slightly stunned. Right at this time, the Ghost Fire GU suddenly sped up and shot towards Feng Jinhuang. Come, just a mere rank 1 Ghost Fire GU, Feng Jinhuang's eyes shined sharply with confidence. She had already prepared sufficiently and could easily block a rank 1 Ghost Fire GU. When the Ghost Fire GU charged over, she even had the time to think of the possibility of Fang Yuan making continuous attacks. However, the Ghost Fire suddenly came to a halt, stopping near Feng Jinhuang. Afterwards, the Ghost Fire slowly circled Feng Jinhuang, swaying around either side of her. What? Feng Jinhuang was startled internally. Fang Yuan, what is the meaning of this? The next moment, her expression sank as realization dawned upon her. In this duel, the GU master could only defend in the range of a meter. The Ghost Fire GU did not encroach the range of a meter around Feng Jinhuang, making her unable to defend. The Ghost Fire floating around could only be considered as part of the process of Fang Yuan's attack. He is using rank 1 Ghost Fire to pressure me, to divert my attention. Feng Jinhuang was astute and was soon able to understand the intent behind this move. So sinister. Many people, outside the stage, exclaimed as they realized his plan. Sun Yao was filled with righteous indignation. That demon Fang Yuan is using a loophole in the rules. With a ghost fire floating in front of you, who can concentrate on refining GU? Does nobody care about this? He is too shameless. Qin Wan shook her head, saying solemnly, the rules of the duel were set by both sides. This pending offensive is also a classic battle tactic in the martial duel format, it can't be considered shameless. Damn it, cold sweat began to seep out of Feng Jinhuang's forehead, ghost fires can injure the soul. I have used up a lot of my mental energy, if I am really affected by it, I will definitely slip up. But if I just blindly defend, my mind will be tied down in observing the movement of the ghost fire, and my GU refinement speed will decrease. There was still a way, Feng Jinhuang could initiate an attack and destroy this ghost fire. But this was not worthwhile. Because this would be her third attack, which meant a rank 3 method. Using a rank 3 method to cancel Fang Yuan's rank 1 ghost fire GU, no matter what, it would be her loss. Maybe this is his intention, he wants to lure me into using up a precious chance of attacking. Feng Jinhuang gritted her teeth as she looked at Fang Yuan. Controlling a ghost fire also expended one's mental energy. But Fang Yuan had only been using GU refinement techniques and not refinement path killer moves, it could be said his mental energy was at full capacity, it was more than sufficient to control a ghost fire. Oh, not destroying my ghost fire. He, you are really patient. Fang Yuan suddenly laughed, then, how about another ghost fire? Under everyone's gazes, Fang Yuan took out a second ghost fire GU. Feng Jinhuang, look closely, this is rank 2 ghost fire GU. Fang Yuan calmly spoke, unlike Feng Jinhuang's sneak attacks, he openly announced his methods. The style of Fang Yuan's attacks was the completely opposite of Feng Jinhuang. Feng Jinhuang's two attacks were quick, accurate and relentless, attacking the enemy's vital points and forcing Fang Yuan into defense, while she took the chance to use refinement path killer moves. However, Fang Yuan's methods could be described with one word, slow. The second ghost fire floated slowly towards Feng Jinhuang, stopping a meter in front of her. This ghost fire was created from rank 2 ghost fire GU, it was double the size of the first ghost fire. The two ghost fires circled around Feng Jinhuang, the pressure on Feng Jinhuang swiftly doubled. Chapter 856 Dueling Feng Jinhuang 4 quarters. The two ghost fires moved about here and there, they went far and near, With no set pattern, Feng Jinhuang had to be vigilant of these two flames, while also paying attention to refining Jiyu. Feng Jinhuang was soon unable to bear it. Bang! A soft explosion resounded as one of the Jiyu refinement fires she controlled was extinguished. The Jiyu worm inside the flame had already been refined to an incomplete form, but it was a pity, everything was lost. First senior sister slipped up. So unfortunate, that Jiyu worm only had the final 3 steps remaining. Sun Yao stamped her foot in anger. Qin Wan also had a heavy expression. This is the first mistake since the duel began, although first senior sister has a deep foundation, surely enough, dividing her attention to handle so many things was too forceful. What should she do now? Sun Yao gazed over, seemingly asking for advice. Qin Wan mumbled, if it were me, I would dispel a refinement path killer move right now. Because the lead is great, as long as I can maintain this lead and make no more mistakes, the one in a hurry would be the other side. But dispelling a killer move is similar to activating it, because in order to produce a change in the situation, one needs to focus their attention, which can generate a moment of weakness. At this moment, on the stage, Feng Jinhuang also had a similar thought. Should I dispel a refinement path killer move? Is this Fang Yuan's intention? No, I still have a way. I can use my third chance to send out a sonic wave, and destroy these 2 ghost fires at once. Geniuses like Feng Jinhuang had pride carved in their very bones, and would not be willing to admit defeat. Feng Jinhuang's eyes brightened at this thought, but when she cast her gaze towards Fang Yuan, her heart instantly chilled. Fang Yuan was wearing a malevolent mask, his piercingly cold eyes protruded from behind the holes of the mask. Behind it, there seemed to be a smiling expression with a hint of ridicule. No, Feng Jinhuang's mind trembled at this gaze, this is Fang Yuan's trap. He is already waiting for it. The moment I use my third attack, Fang Yuan will grasp this chance to immediately attack. At that time, my mind would be taxed to the limit and it will be very difficult for me to deal with the attack. I might not even be able to defend and be struck by his attack. Damn, Feng Jinhuang gritted her teeth, a drop of cold sweat slid down from her forehead to her eyebrow and down her cheek. It can't go on like this, I need to find a way, what should I do? Think carefully, think quickly. Bang, while she was in the process of thinking, another lump of fire she was controlling exploded. This explosion was much more severe than the first one. Other lumps of fire were also affected. Feng Jinhuang quickly dispelled her disorganized thoughts and did her best to stabilize the other fire lumps. Ah, first senior sister made a mistake again, how could this be? Not good, first senior sister is injured. Sun Yao cried out with her head in her hands. The demon Fang Yuan brought her too much pressure. First senior sister should have been trying to think of an urgent countermeasure, and this decreased her attention towards the GU refinement, causing a slip-up. A failure in GU refinement means there will be backlash. Fortunately her injuries are not severe. Qin Wan's tone revealed her nervousness, she let out a breath of cloudy air and continued, but, this is also a good thing. Sun Yao did not understand, and grumbled in anger, Senior sister Qin Wan, what are you saying? First senior sister failed in GU refinement, and also suffered injuries, why is this a good thing? She has lost 2 lumps of fire, but her mind is instead partially freed up. She now has the spare energy to cope with the present situation. Qin Wan analyzed. Sun Yao patted her chest as she suddenly realized this, right? He. Fang Yuan laughed again. Feng Jinhuang's heart immediately sank when she heard Fang Yuan's laughter. She raised her head and sure enough, Fang Yuan took out a third GU worm. Fang Yuan spoke just like earlier, look closely, this is a rank 3 ghost fire GU. The next moment, 3 ghost fires were flying around Feng Jinhuang. Damn it. Sun Yao stamped her foot in anger, this demon is too shameless, first senior sister has just been able to catch a breather, and now he sends another ghost fire. He is still thinking of forcing first senior sister to make a mistake. That's right. Qin Wan had a grave expression, like this, the pressure on first senior sister has increased sharply. She probably has to use all her remaining attention on defending. Sun Yao clenched her teeth, subconsciously waving her fist. This demon is not concentrating on refining his GU, instead he is spending his mental energy on the ghost fires, this is a classic case of neglecting the proper task. He is truly terrible, I really want to give him a few punches. Damn it, how can this be? Feng Jinhuang fell into a great predicament, she was clearly in the lead, but when Fang Yuan made a move, she was forced into a passive state. Feng Jinhuang knew the situation was far from good, the tempo of the duel had already fallen into Fang Yuan's grasp. She wanted to counterattack, but she did not have enough ability. The 3 ghost fires floated around her, Sometimes they would even breach the 1-meter distance before retreating immediately. They were clearly being manipulated to tease Feng Jinhuang. Feng Jinhuang was only a young girl after all. She was filled with fury towards Fang Yuan's teasing, but was not able to vent them. She would have to take a risk if she wanted to get rid of the 3 hateful ghost fires. But reason told Feng Jinhuang that she might not necessarily need to take the risk. Because even after she slipped up twice, she still had a large lead over Fang Yuan. As long as she maintained this dominance, victory would be hers. However, when Feng Jinhuang began refining 4 orifices fire tower GU, a short while later, Fang Yuan also began refining 4 orifices fire tower GU. This discovery immediately startled Feng Jinhuang. When was it that he actually closed in the gap between us? Impossible, he has clearly not used even one refinement path killer move yet. But the fact was that Fang Yuan had relied on just GU refinement techniques, using purely basic skills to close the gap bit by bit, and unknowingly, he had caught up to Feng Jinhuang. The GU masters outside the stage also discovered this. Unbelievable, this demon actually caught up. Spirit Affinity House's female disciples cried out in shock. Actually relying on just GU refinement techniques to overcome refinement path killer moves, Fang Yuan's ability far surpasses Feng Jinhuang. The people who overrated Fang Yuan continued to overrate him. How is this possible? Fang Yuan definitely cheated. Everyone knows the power of refinement path killer moves. He did not use a single killer move but caught up. Impossible. Sun Yao was dissatisfied. What kind of eyes does the hosting elder have? Why is he not stopping the duel and investigating this demon Fang Yuan? Qin Wan, however, heaved a deep sigh. Keep quiet, junior sister. GU refinement techniques naturally cannot match refinement path killer moves, but in this duel, they can overcome killer moves. Ah, senior sister, what do you mean? Because the crucial factor for victory is not the means, but the 2 GU masters themselves. At the moment, the refinement has already reached the middle to later stages. Fang Yuan's mind is still fresh, while first senior sister has been exerting her mind since the start. The moment she could relax, Fang Yuan used the threat of ghost fire GU to overwhelm her. First senior sister is already tired. Without ample energy in her mind, any powerful refinement path killer moves will only play a secondary role, thus her GU refinement speed will naturally slow down. Qin Wan sighed, before continuing, this is all Fang Yuan's plan. When first senior sister mentioned refining 5 orifices fire pagoda GU as the task, he agreed directly. But the GU recipes and the refinement materials were all put forward by him. The moment this battle of attrition began, he let himself fall behind, preserving his mental energy. At the middle stages, he finally attacked, and although he was behind, he was able to grasp the initiative. Because of her dominance, first senior sister did not want to take a risk, thus she kept delaying dealing with them. However, she did not know that this was Fang Yuan's sinister plan. Now at the later stages, first senior sister is too tired, her speed is getting slower and will soon be overtaken by Fang Yuan. What? Sun Yao worriedly gazed towards the stage. Soon, her worry turned into reality. Fang Yuan slowly progressed to being level with Feng Jinhuang, and slowly overtook her. Is his first senior sister going to lose? Sun Yao's eyes reddened and tears streamed out. First senior sister clearly put in so much effort to arrive at the end, she even got injured, but this despicable demon is going to win. I am not willing to accept this. I also feel discontent. Qin Wan sighed, but first senior sister still has a chance. There is still a chance. Sun Yao turned her head and looked happily at her senior sister Qin Wan. Qin Wan nodded. Right, don't forget first senior sister still has 3 chances to attack. 1 rank 3 attack, 1 rank 4 attack and 1 rank 5 attack. Every attack will be stronger than the previous one. This is the way to make a comeback. This contest has yet to end, there is still hope. Right, we still have hope. First senior sister, you can do it. Sun Yao's eyes brightened as she suddenly shouted loudly. Her voice attracted the gazes of the people nearby. The intense sense of honor to the sect and feeling of belonging made the hundreds of disciples of Spirit Affinity House shout together to boost Feng Jinhuang's morale. Although their voices could not transmit to the stage, Feng Jinhuang was able to sense it. These guys I cannot lose, I will win. It is time to use my trump card. Refinement path killer move, ink transformation. Feng Jinhuang shouted in her mind, and simultaneously made 3 attacks in a row towards Fang Yuan. Feng Jinhuang staked everything on this, using all her remaining chances to attack. Paltry trick. Fang Yuan blocked all these attacks, while sending out the 3 ghost fires to interfere with her as much as possible. The interference did not bring much result. Feng Jinhuang destroyed these 3 ghost fires. Her refinement path killer move was already close to completion. HMPH, revealing light GU, go. Fang Yuan sneered inwardly as he flicked out a rank 4 GU worm. At the same time, he also used a rank 5 attack which arrived in front of Feng Jinhuang first. Feng Jinhuang was already prepared, blocking the rank 5 attack, but revealing light GU, which had neared her, suddenly self-detonated. The explosion was not intense, but the radiance was extremely dazzling. How does he know the weakness of ink transformation? Under Feng Jinhuang's incredulous gaze, the killer move, ink transformation, was interrupted and forcefully stopped. The killer move did not successfully activate. The severe backlash from it immediately caused Feng Jinhuang's organs to be damaged, causing large amounts of blood to flow out of her body. Her body trembled from the intense pain, and she was no longer able to maintain her control over the lumps of fire. The whole GU refinement failed, and bursts of enormous backlash assaulted her. Feng Jinhuang spat out fresh blood as she opened her mouth widely, before falling down to the ground shortly, losing consciousness. Chaos erupted outside the stage. Spirit Affinity House's disciples wanted to go up the stage, but were blocked by the GU formation. Don't make disturbances, all violators will be punished. The hosting elder shouted. After stabilizing the situation, he gazed towards Fang Yuan. For a moment, almost everyone outside the stage looked towards Fang Yuan. Feng Jinhuang was already unconscious. Even if she woke up and tried to refine the GU again, the materials were far from enough. Right now, Fang Yuan could not lose. As long as he slowly refined 5 orifices Fire Pagoda GU, he would be the victor. However, right when Fang Yuan was about to succeed, the incomplete form of the GU worm in his hand suddenly detonated. Fang Yuan was startled. This. Chapter 857 Fang Zheng's death. Fang Yuan and Feng Jinhuang's duel attracted the attentions of countless people, but the result was one that nobody anticipated. The process of the duel was very splendid. It was full of ups and downs. Eventually, even though Fang Yuan had absolute advantage, he met with the failure rate of a rank 5 GU refinement, and his efforts went down the drain. He did not have enough GU refinement materials for a second attempt, while Feng Jinhuang already had fainted and also did not have enough materials. Thus, this duel ended in a draw. Feng Jinhuang was sent for treatment immediately after the duel ended. After learning about the results, Feng Jinhuang looked at Fang Yuan with deep meaning. Since it was a draw, according to the duel rules, both parties had 2 options. One was to take back their wagers, the other was to trade the wagers that they had put in. As Fang Yuan had expected, Feng Jinhuang chose the second option. Fang Yuan thought about it for a moment before agreeing. Feng Jinhuang first passed one information path GU worm over to Fang Yuan personally. The method of an immortal zombie reviving was recorded inside the GU. After that, both parties created an agreement. In the capacity of a subsidiary force of Immortal Crane Sect, the owner of Who Immortal Blessed Land, Fang Yuan, agreed to undergo Guts GU transactions with Spirit Affinity House. In the future, Fang Yuan would give priority to Spirit Affinity House when selling Guts GU. Even Immortal Crane Sect was behind them in the priority list. Lord Fang Yuan, our sect's Lord He Feng Yang would like to speak with you. After the duel ended, an Immortal Crane Sect elder came to Fang Yuan. He spoke in a humble manner. Oh, Fang Yuan said with surprise, lead the way. On a mountain peak with no one else around, he met He Feng Yang again. He Feng Yang still had the appearance of a youth. He wore a white robe with a black belt. The winds were blowing his sleeves as they fluttered in the air. His green eyebrows extended to his waist as they swayed with the wind as well. It was not easy to get a draw in this duel, was it? He Feng Yang's gaze was profound. He looked at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan smiled. It can't be helped. I encountered the natural rate of failure. There was nothing I could do. His words carried no flaws. He Feng Yang sized up Fang Yuan as he said in a serious tone, it is a pity that you became a zombie despite such talent in refinement path. Actually, if you want to find a way to revive, you do not need to approach others. Immortal Crane Sect has an excellent method that can ensure that you will get rid of your zombie status. Fang Yuan heard this and felt a bit strange. Why did he feel like He Feng Yang was showing an intention of recruiting him? But thinking about it, even if Fang Yuan and Immortal Crane Sect had been on opposing sides, or he had a mysterious background, or some other reasons, ignoring all these, just Fang Yuan's current display of his GU refinement attainment was enough to move Immortal Crane Sect. Fang Yuan naturally knew the excellent method that He Feng Yang was talking about. What else could it be? It was obviously the possession technique. He Fengyang would not be able to guess that Fang Yuan had already made preparations in this aspect. If I would lose my freedom, I would rather remain as a zombie. Fang Yuan said. He Fengyang shook his head. I invited you here not to discuss the matter of freedom. Let's talk about important matters. You captured your brother, you have to hand him over, otherwise, the consequences are not something you can endure. Oh, is this a threat? Fang Yuan's tone became deeper. Fang Zheng was a secondary option to regain life, even if he did not need him for this, Fang Zheng was still the best choice to create a blood deity. How could Fang Yuan hand him over? He Fengyang nodded. You can think of this as a threat, but I would rather explain it as a warning. I'll speak the truth, eliminating Fang Zheng is Heavenly Court's orders. You might not know the extent of Heavenly Court's authority, but you just need to know one thing, there is no force in Central Continent that can defy Heavenly Court. How could Fang Yuan not know the power of Heavenly Court? He had his previous life's memories, he was even more aware of Heavenly Court's strength and power than He Fengyang. Of course I know about Heavenly Court. But why would they have any interest in Fang Zheng? They are actually so serious about eliminating Immortal. Isn't your excuse too unrealistic? He Fengyang, how can you convince me? Fang Yuan spread his arms out. He Fengyang sighed. I do not need to convince you. As long as you keep Fang Zheng's life, in the end, Immortal blessed land will be taken down and absorbed by Heavenly Court. That is not something Immortal Crane sect wants to see. You can consider this freely, but there is little time. If you can accept it, 3 days from now, give Fang Zheng to me. Fang Yuan frowned deeply, this unexpected news caught him off guard, he did not know about the matter involving Fate Gu, it was hard for him to link Heavenly Court and Fang Zheng together. He placed his gaze on He Fengyang's face, he tried to find a flaw from his expression, do you take me for a fool? Handing Fang Zheng to you is like placing the key to Immortal blessed land into your hands. He Fengyang raised his head and laughed. Fang Yuan, despite being an immortal zombie, you are truly scheming. No need to test me, the truth is, you have already started believing me. I am actually more curious than you about this. But we should curb our own curiosity regarding matters relating to Heavenly Court. 3 days later, I will execute Fang Zheng in front of you, but in exchange, you have to bring me Lord Sky Crane's soul intact. You should know that he is one of my subordinates, and is a rather capable one. Fang Yuan became silent. He Fengyang did not stay, a light flashed and he vanished on the spot. Since He Fengyang left, Fang Yuan had no reason to stay, he decided to use fixed immortal travel to return to Immortal blessed land. He had temporarily set aside the matter regarding Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan's first priority now was to research the method that Feng Jinhuang gave him. Fairy Lian Shang. What was unexpected to Fang Yuan was that this method to revive was connected to a fairy of Spirit Affinity House from a previous generation. Fairy Lian Shang was a past generation fairy of Spirit Affinity House, her status was similar to Mo Yao. According to Feng Jinhuang, when Fairy Lian Shang was rank 5, she was ambushed by an enemy and became a zombie. But she had one of the 10 extreme physiques, the desolate ancient moon physique. Through a fortunate opportunity, she succeeded in her immortal ascension. Her zombie body was purified by the heavenly tribulation and earthly calamity, it was as though she was reborn. The last bit of content was deduced by many of Spirit Affinity House's GU Immortals. To get rid of the zombie body, a way to revive was to undergo immortal ascension as one of the 10 extreme physiques. Immortal ascension of the 10 extreme physiques. Fang Yuan was a little disappointed. This method was not impossible to him. He had Blood Skull GU, he could raise a GU master's aptitude. First Gen GUU was an example which Fang Yuan could learn from. But Blood Skull GU was only immortal GU, even if Fang Yuan had many descendants and killed them, it could not raise the aptitude of an immortal zombie like Fang Yuan. However, if I can advance Blood Skull GU to an immortal GU, it will work on me. I can use Blood Skull Immortal GU to elevate my first aperture into the desolate ancient moon aperture, if I undergo immortal ascension after that, I would likely revive. But to raise Blood Skull GU into an immortal GU, I would need Blood Skull Gu's immortal GU recipe, it would expend a lot of time and effort to attempt this. Even if I can raise my aptitude to the level of the 10 extreme physiques, the tribulation would likely be extremely dangerous. According to Feng Jinhuang's information, when Fairy Lian Shang underwent immortal ascension, it was a terrifying event. It was almost equivalent to the grand tribulation of a rank 7 GU immortal. Most likely, the immortal ascension of a zombie was too heaven-defying, it attracted the rage of heaven. Back then, if not for the help of several GU immortals from Spirit Affinity House, Fairy Lian Shang would have been reduced to ashes by the grand tribulation. The immortal ascension of one of the 10 extreme physiques was already very terrifying. Fang Yuan had witnessed He Lulan's ascension, she even lost an immortal Gu due to it. After a person of the 10 extreme physiques becomes a zombie, and attempts to become an immortal, the tribulation would be even fiercer, its intensity would rise by over a dozen times. Fang Yuan concluded that this method not only required huge amounts of preparation, it would also expend a lot of time and energy, as well as carry great risks. Without help from others, with Fang Yuan's strength, even if he included the assistance of Tai Bai Yunsheng, He Lulan, and Fairy Li Shan, it would not succeed. Weighing the costs and benefits, Fang Yuan could only place this method aside. He entered the prison cell of Danghun Palace, he saw Fang Zheng who was locked inside. Fang Yuan, what are you trying to do? Seeing his brother, Fang Zheng screamed, his gaze filled with hatred. Fang Yuan said, why, are you still denying it? Fang Zheng shouted. Even if Immortal Crane Sect and Master are responsible, you are still the biggest culprit, you are the person who slaughtered uncle and aunt. I will never forgive you, I will never let you off. Kill me, or else we will always be enemies. Oh, my beloved brother, you are really stubborn. In that case, Fang Yuan's gaze shined, he stretched out his arm towards Fang Zheng. Soul search. Fang Zheng's body shook, he could not move anymore, he wanted to shout, but he felt like his throat was stuck, he showed an anguished expression on his face. Fang Yuan searched Fang Zheng's soul multiple times, but he did not find anything of value. Fang Zheng is such an ordinary Gu master, why is Heavenly Court sending orders to eliminate him specifically? Fang Yuan fell into deep thought. Even though there was no evidence, he felt inclined to believe that He Feng Yang was speaking the truth. Fang Yuan did not know that Heavenly Court had Fate Immortal Gu. Even though he had his previous life's memories, he was restricted by his status, he could not know everything. Especially when the strongest organization in the 5 regions, Heavenly Court, was involved. Did someone do something to Fang Zheng's soul? Fang Yuan shook his head immediately after. That was very unlikely, but he could not deny the slim possibility of it. Should I hand over Fang Zheng or not? This was the question. Fang Yuan was not afraid of He Feng Yang, but he was wary of Immortal Crane Sect, and was worried about Heavenly Court. If any of the rank 8 Gu immortals in Heavenly Court attacked, killing him would be as easy as killing an ant. Of course, that was if they battled. Fang Yuan was not so foolish to get into one, he could escape and run away beforehand. Fixed immortal travel was an excellent method to do so. 3 days later, Fang Yuan handed over Fang Zheng and the spirit incubating flea, within it was Lord Sky Crane's soul. Fang Zheng had evidently been tortured, he went through lots of terrifying punishment, not only was his skin torn and flesh exposed, he even had many deep wounds that revealed his bones. In fact, one of his arms was cut off and replaced with a dog's limb. Even so, Fang Zheng could feel the dog limb and even manipulate it to move. Such cruel treatment could make someone collapse mentally. But He Feng Yang only took a glance without saying anything, he said to Fang Yuan, you made a wise choice. Now, hold up your end of the agreement. Fang Yuan's gaze was shining. Watch closely. He Feng Yang struck. Under Fang Yuan's supervision, he killed Fang Zheng on the spot, fire burned until not a single trace of him was left. Lord He Feng Yang, why? You promised me. Lord Sky Crane's voice came from the spirit incubating flea. This is an order from Heavenly Court. Immortal Crane Sect needs Fang Zheng's sacrifice. Sky Crane, this is your destiny. You wanted to possess Fang Zheng at first, but you relented and were willing to accompany him and teach him how to cultivate. Now, he is dead, not a trace of his soul is left. As compensation for going back on my words, I will find a good body for you to revive. He Feng Yang said slowly. Lord Sky Crane's crying voice could be heard. He Feng Yang waved his sleeves, he sucked the spirit incubating flea into his sleeve, as he took a look at Fang Yuan before leaving. When you are free, you can come to Feihe Mountain and have a look. Chapter 858, Second Place. Right now, I can confirm that He Feng Yang is expressing goodwill to me. Fang Yuan had a realization. He Feng Yang invited Fang Yuan personally to take a look at Feihe Mountain. What was Feihe Mountain? It was the base of Immortal Crane Sect, even though it was somewhat symbolic, the meaning he was trying to express was clear. After returning to Hu Immortal Blessed Land, Fang Yuan thought about He Feng Yang's change in attitude and smiled silently. The duel with Feng Jin Huang allowed Fang Yuan and Spirit Affinity House to establish contact for trade. The transactions of Guts Gu with Spirit Affinity House were higher in priority than Immortal Crane Sect. But because it took advantage of the setup of Central Continent's refinement path convention, everyone bore witness to it. Immortal Crane sect could not make up any excuses or complaints to stop these important transactions. Who Immortal Blessed Land and Spirit Affinity House had made contact. This made Immortal Crane sect feel a strong sense of threat. In history, among the 10 sects, Spirit Affinity House had the highest rate of recruiting demonic path GU immortals. Bo Qing and Feng Zhuzhe were examples that were etched into people's hearts. Not long ago, they had failed to take back Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Now that Fang Yuan was showing strong attainment in refinement path, Immortal Crane sect finally decided to persuade Fang Yuan in a more gentle way. Thus, He Feng Yang's attitude towards Fang Yuan changed drastically. The matter of Fang Zheng should be real. He Feng Yang's action was a sign of goodwill to Fang Yuan. He even tried to entice Fang Yuan using the possession technique. To him, if Fang Yuan continued to keep Fang Zheng in captivity, Heavenly Court would take down Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Danghun Mountain would definitely be taken by them in that case if Fang Yuan did not destroy it in advance. Hu Immortal Blessed Land could not be moved, and Heavenly Court was not interested in it anyway. One of the 10 great ancient sects might get to inherit it. But it would depend on internal competition between the sects under Heavenly Court to determine which one obtained it. Evidently, the GU immortals from Immortal Crane sect that were in Heavenly Court were weaker in power compared to the others. It was unlikely that they could take back Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Even if they took it back, without Danghun Mountain, Hu Immortal Blessed Land's value would be greatly diminished. No matter how they looked at it, this went against He Feng Yang and Immortal Crane sect's benefits. Thus, He Feng Yang informed Fang Yuan of this matter. It was a way to defend his own benefits. Right now, I am a subsidiary force of Immortal Crane sect on paper, but I am actually placing myself between Spirit Affinity House and Immortal Crane sect. This has allowed my external pressure to reduce by more than half. Fang Yuan heaved a sigh to himself. In truth, Fang Yuan had been planning for such a situation. He ignored Feng Jinhuang's challenge earlier, but he later sent a message and agreed to the duel. Why was that? It was because he wanted to make use of Spirit Affinity House to resist the pressure from Immortal Crane sect. Fang Yuan had achieved his intended outcome, but the crucial factor was not him. It was the allure of Guts GU itself. Fang Yuan seized Hu Immortal Blessed Land. It greatly incited Feng Jinhuang and caused her to find out Dream Wing's Immortal Gu's true ability in advance. Because Feng Jinhuang used Dream Wings, she obtained many benefits and placed greater importance on Guts GU. If not for that, why would Spirit Affinity House allow Fang Yuan to make use of them? They were not fools. Indeed, Fang Yuan purposely made the duel a draw. He wanted to show an agreeable attitude to Spirit Affinity House. To Fang Yuan, this duel changed his circumstances in Central Continent. It greatly reduced his pressure and gave him more time and energy to make bigger plans. Of course, once the secret that Fang Yuan was the culprit of 88 Truyong buildings collapse gets exposed, Central Continent would definitely be stirred up. Fang Yuan would be wanted by everyone. He would need to escape for his life. From Feng Jinhuang's perspective, even though she was injured and did not win in the duel, she was the biggest winner. With Guts Gu's help from now on, she would be able to use Dream Wing's Immortal GU and improve drastically. Her speed would surpass practically all GU immortals. She would grow rapidly. In my previous life, I killed Feng Jinhuang, but now, it seems that I am aiding her. Towards this, Fang Yuan felt deeply moved, but there was no point expressing this to others. Fang Yuan, the matter has been settled. If there is nothing else, I will leave first. Tai Bai Yunsheng came to say his goodbyes. These last days, he had been moving around northern plains, finding a suitable location to place his blessed land. He had found a location already, and was about to place it down, but at the crucial moment, Fang Yuan asked him to return. Thank you for your help just now. You chose a good location. Go ahead and blend your heaven and earth chi. When the calamity comes, I will lend you a hand. Fang Yuan said to Tai Bai Yunsheng. Tai Bai Yunsheng nodded. He went to northern plains using a stargate. After obtaining star form blessed land, Fang Yuan received a huge stock of Starlight Firefly GU. He no longer had to save up on the number of times stargates were used. Fang Yuan came to the prison cell and saw Gu Fang Zheng again. Wasn't Gu Fang Zheng killed by He Feng Yang already? Why was he alive here? As it turns out, this was just a show by Fang Yuan. He purposely cut off an arm from Gu Fang Zheng, fitting a dog limb onto it. He was trying to create a false appearance of abuse and humiliation. In truth, he kept the severed limb here. When He Feng Yang killed Fang Zheng, Fang Yuan asked Tai Bai Yunsheng to use man as before Immortal GU, expending a considerable amount of immortal essence on the severed arm, reviving Fang Zheng. He Feng Yong did not suspect anything, he had limited knowledge, he did not know that an immortal Gu-like man as before existed. From his perspective, Fang Zheng's body and soul were destroyed in front of him, thus Fang Zheng was definitely dead. Any other Gu immortal would think the same. This was common sense. But the world was huge, there were bound to be rare and strange immortal Gu, or immortal killer moves, like man as before. Nobody could know them all, because humans had limited knowledge, even immortals were no exception. Omnipotence and omniscience, even rank 9 Gu immortals or Ren Zhu could not achieve that. To reach that stage, maybe only one grand existence could achieve it, that was the world. Fang Yuan tossed an information path Gu worm to Fang Zheng, he showed a mocking expression as he said, "Take a good look, this is the immortal crane sect that you are so grateful towards, and that kind-hearted master of yours, if it were not for me, you would be dead already." "Impossible, I won't believe your lies." Fang Zheng screamed, but he still held this information path Gu worm in his hands. In this Gu worm, the video of He Feng Yong killing Fang Zheng as well as his conversation with Lord Sky Crane's soul were recorded. After looking at it, Fang Zheng broke the information path Gu worm into pieces, he fell into immeasurable rage. He raised his head and screamed, his expression contorted as he pointed at Fang Yuan, shouting, "Impossible. This is all fake, you made this up. I will not believe it, I will never believe it. You lied to me, you are lying. Unless I see it for myself, hear it for myself, and get Master's reply. You will witness it all. But now is not the time yet." Fang Yuan turned around, leaving the room. He shut the cell as the room went into complete darkness. Fang Zheng was still screaming in the darkness, he ran around in the tiny room and punched and kicked the walls, venting his emotions. After settling the matter regarding Fang Zheng, Fang Yuan progressed smoothly in the refinement path convention without any problems. Since he eliminated some of the truly skilled Gu refinement experts early, it made the later rounds much easier for him. Eventually, Feng Jinhuang got 6th place, while Fang Yuan reached the finals. He faced the strongest competitor in this competition, Yu Mu Chun. In this battle, Fang Yuan lost completely. Even though the task was still the same as his previous life, and Fang Yuan had a huge advantage of knowing it in advance. But his opponent, Yu Mu Chun, was a true refinement path quasi-great grandmaster. This level was terrifying, even though Feng Jinhuang had Dream Wings Immortal Gu, she could not reach this stage easily. The higher the level of attainment went in each path, the more difficulty one would face in trying to raise it. In history, only the 3 olds of refinement path could reach the highest point. Right now in Northern Plains, there were only 4 people who were publicly known to match or surpass him, they were the 4 refinement path experts of Northern Plains. Fang Yuan knew deeply, even if he had the advantage of knowing the task, he could not defeat Yu Mu Chun. This was the difference in level. Speaking of which, Yu Mu Chun wore nearly the same thing as Fang Yuan, he wore a black robe that covered his entire body, as well as a mask on his face. In Fang Yuan's previous life, he got 1st place. There were no surprises, his ability was truly unfathomable. Fang Yuan forfeited without competing, many people were unhappy and blamed him. After all, refinement path attainment level was hard to assess, even though Yu Mu Chun was very strong, Fang Yuan was also an extremely favored contestant. Forfeiting without a fight, the spectators who were looking forward to the final round felt unhappy, they were complaining and claiming that Fang Yuan's forfeiture was rigged. But no matter what, Fang Yuan, who reached 2nd place, obtained his original goal, he obtained a success Dao mark. After that, the representatives from Immortal Crane sect and the other 9 great ancient sects came to Fang Yuan, attempting to buy his Dao mark. This success Dao mark could not be traded or given away. Even though Heavenly Court tried many times, they had never succeeded. The 10 great ancient sects naturally did not have any intention to seize it, they only tried to make a deal with him. After all, with Fang Yuan's incredible Gu refinement techniques, an over-evaluation on everyone's part, asking him to refine a rank 6 immortal Gu would use up this success Dao mark, in exchange for no failure rate. No matter how high of a price the 10 sects of Central Continent offered, Fang Yuan rejected them all. Returning to Hu Immortal Blessed Land, he started preparing for the refinement of change form immortal Gu. Ever since Fang Yuan started the plan of refining change form immortal Gu, he had been gathering the materials for it. Because he had the success Dao mark, he only needed 1 set of Gu refinement materials, this greatly reduced the cost that he had to bear. Even so, after Fang Yuan collected all of the ingredients, he had already sold or traded most of the immortal materials that he had obtained from the Northern Plains auction. If not for the refinement path convention filling up the gap in materials, he would still be lacking in some of them. The difficulty of refining an immortal GU could be easily seen. Fang Yuan only had to prepare one set of materials, but it expended almost all of his current accumulated resources. If not for the Guts GU trade and Success Dao mark, Fang Yuan would not take a risk and undergo such a gamble. Chapter 859, Refining Immortal GU. Central Continent, Truyong Mountain Range. The setting sun was like blood, shining down on the uneven mountain range. On a dangerous mountain peak here, a hairy man was climbing enthusiastically. Master, Master, wait for me, the hairy man climbed as he shouted. Unlike most other hairy men, this hairy man had a different sort of intelligence in his eyes, he spoke just like ordinary humans. He was chasing after Yu Mu Chun along the mountain range. During the Central Continent Refinement Path Convention, this young hairy man had been taking notice of Yu Mu Chun. When the Central Continent Refinement Path Convention ended, Yu Mu Chun got first place and the hairy man had been following after him, all along to this place. This hairy man was strong and muscular, but he could not catch up to Yu Mu Chun. Yu Mu Chun had entered Truyong Mountain Range after the convention ended. The hairy man followed behind him, shouting and chasing. Along the way, he suffered a lot and was covered in dust and injuries. Master, wait for me. The hairy man climbed onto the mountain peak, but he stared blankly. How can this be? Master was still at the mountain peak earlier, how could he be at the base of the mountain so quickly? What GU worm did he use? Seeing that the distance he had desperately shrunken had extended, the hairy man was anxious, he quickly went down the mountain, but he missed a step and lost his footing, rolling down the mountain slope. Thankfully, there were thick branches that broke his fall. Even so, he was crying and screaming as he rolled down until partway down the mountain, his body was bleeding and he suffered fractures everywhere. The pain in his body was far less than the pain in his heart. If I miss this opportunity, it will be hard to find Master again. The hairy man was crying, he struggled to get up, but he could not. He raised his head in desperation. Master, please take pity on this junior and come back. Boo-hoo-hoo. His voice was very weak, after his soft pleas, he started sobbing profusely. But when his tears flowed out, his body shook. He saw that out of nowhere, a pair of legs were in front of him. He looked up along the legs, joyfully seeing that Yu Mu Chun had turned back and was standing in front of him, observing him. The hairy man quickly knelt down. Master, Master, you finally meet me. Yu Mu Chun sighed, his voice was deep and grave as he said, Ben Duo Yi. Years ago, I only gave you a few pointers casually, you and I are not fated to be master and disciple. The hairy man, Ben Duo Yi, heard this and cried out. He gathered strength from nowhere and jumped, hugging Yu Mu Chun's leg. Master, oh Master. Even if you are unwilling to admit you are my master, but from your instructions, I was enlightened, escaping from ignorance, I broke through my limits and my refinement attainment reached an unforeseen level. Even though you only said a few words, this gratitude is deeper than the sea, you changed my fate, thus in my heart, you are forever my master. Yu Mu Chun stretched out his arm, he rubbed the hairy man named Ben Duo Yi's head. He, back then, I only gave you pointers because I saw that you were wiser than normal hairy men, you had greater cognitive abilities. But it is for your sake that I am not making you my disciple. I am a person who has escaped from fate, being associated with me will only bring you harm. From now on, you are not allowed to tell others that I had once given you pointers, otherwise, you will definitely die a terrible death. Remember this, you have to remember this. Disciple understands. Ben Duo Yi nodded his head quickly. Yu Mu Chun snorted. Ben Duo Yi quickly changed his words. I remember it, I remember it. Master Yu Mu Chun, please take me in. I am not qualified to be your disciple, but I can be your follower or slave. I am very diligent and witty, you praised me before. I will be very loyal, and serve you with all my heart. Yu Mu Chun shook his head and smiled bitterly. Oh you. Forget it, you have traveled through 30 mountains and encountered much hardship in pursuing me, it is very rare to see such determination and perseverance. Ben Duo Yi, remember this, your most outstanding merit is that you have unique intelligence. Man is the spirit of all beings, but even as a hairy man, your intelligence is not inferior to humans. But you cannot rely on this excessively, after all, a swimmer can always drown if he is careless, you must remember your own sincerity and perseverance, get up. Master, if you do not agree, I will not get up. Ben Duo Yi shouted. Ah! Suddenly, his arms grabbed air, Even though they were holding onto Yu Mu-chun's legs earlier, a formless force was repelling him. He could only watch as Yu Mu-chun floated into the air, moving up towards the sky. Ben Duo-yi, our relationship, formed by fortuitous chance, ends here. Today is the last day we will ever meet. Now, I will give you your final lesson. It is a parting gift, watch closely. In the air, Yu Mu-chun's voice could be heard. Ben Duo-yi looked up quickly, he watched with anticipation. Central continent, Earth abyss, inside star form blessed land. The night sky was gentle, a cool wind was blowing. Fang Yuan looked at the stars in the sky of the blessed land, they were giving off dim starlight. It was complete silence. Fang Yuan looked down slowly, retracting his gaze from the vast sky, onto the huge turtle shell in front of him. This was not an ordinary turtle shell, it was the shell of a desolate beast turtle. At this moment, the shell was upside down, like a bowl, with the shell being full of poisonous blood. The poisonous blood was collected from who Immortal blessed land's earthly calamity. Now, in order to refine change form Immortal GU, they could be used. I can finally start refining change form Immortal GU. Fang Yuan let out a breath of foggy air. The matter of refining change form Immortal GU was top secret. Fang Yuan did not tell a single person. Even Tai Bai Yun Shang, He Lu Lan, and Fairy Li Shan were kept in the dark, they had no idea. As for star form blessed land, it had been closed long ago, because the blessed land was inside Earth abyss. During this time period, nobody came here, it was a safe place. Safety was very important. Refining Immortal GU was not easy to begin with, it could be said to be filled with difficulties. There were too many external influences that could affect the Immortal GU refinement process. If he made even a single mistake, the extremely valuable immortal materials would be wasted, along with all his hard work. Thus, he needed a quiet and safe environment to refine Immortal GU. Even though Fang Yuan had a success Dao mark and could reduce the natural rate of failure when refining a rank 6 Immortal GU to 0. What if during the process of refinement, Fang Yuan made a technical error? It was incredibly important to find an environment like star form blessed land which could be relied upon to be undisturbed. Otherwise, if Fang Yuan failed the refinement, he would have no one else to blame but himself. Even though he was going to start, Fang Yuan still took half a day to condition his mind and body before starting. When he felt his soul was replenished and at its peak condition, unable to become any better, he finally started. His eyes shined with a brilliant light, countless ghost fires burned under the turtle shell. At once, the surroundings burned with eerie fire, the temperature of an enormous area around him fell rapidly. Inside the turtle shell, the poisonous blood had no reactions. Central continent, Truyong mountain range. Ben Duo-yi was just raising his head to look, but he got stunned. At this moment, his eyes widened to a ridiculous size. He had thought that Yu Mu-chun's final lesson was to impart him some unique GU refinement techniques or some strong refinement path killer moves. But he did not think that Yu Mu-chun would stand in the air, waving his hand as he scattered some dazzling specks of light. These specks of light were pure and bright. Ben Duo-yi's eyes were tearing up. Just as he felt dizzy, he heard Yu Mu-chun's words, "Ben Duo-yi, this is the final lesson, open your eyes and watch, learn as much as you can." Alright, I am going to refine an Immortal GU now. Immortal GU. Ben Duo-yi's heart shuddered, he opened his mouth, his jaws were open so wide they almost dislocated. Refine Immortal GU. He stammered, he could not understand what was going on, he was uncertain. Why was Master Yu Mu-chun taking such a huge risk? Even though Ben Duo-yi was not a GU refinement expert, he knew that it was hard to refine Immortal GU. Before refining the Immortal GU, one needed to condition their body and mind, to get themselves into peak condition, while clearing their mind and being extremely aware of the GU refinement procedures. But Yu Mu-chun did not do that. After the refinement path convention ended, he entered Truyong mountain range, moving along the area and did not rest once. And he was refining GU in this place. Truyong mountain range was a very dangerous place. The environment that you refined GU in was very important, even a 3-year-old knew that. Right now, Ben Duo-yi was very worried. If they attracted desolate beasts during the GU refinement, or even ancient desolate beasts, what would they do? And this was not the most troublesome part. In comparison to desolate beasts and ancient desolate beasts, GU immortals were the biggest threats. Because of Song Zixing, Truyong mountain range had many GU immortals now, they were searching and trying to locate Song Zixing. On one hand, they could beat him while he was down, while also completing the secret missions of their respective sects for great rewards. Yu Mu-chun did not pay attention to Ben Duo-yi's thoughts, how worried or nervous he was. He had a composed and grand attitude, he moved his hands gracefully. At once, light shone up to a few hundred meters in height, clouds were gathering and forming layers in the sky. Winds blew, the grass on the mountain swayed, beautiful flowers gave off the fragrant scents of nature. Central continent, star form blessed land. An hour passed. In the huge turtle shell, the poisonous blood was boiling, it gave off bubbling noises. In the sky above the poisonous blood, a huge wave of poisonous gas was moving around, forming a thick and black poisonous fog. As Fang Yuan increased the heat, the poisonous fog started to spread, it corroded the surrounding grass and flowers, causing them to die. Fang Yuan did not care about this. He had prepared meticulously, there were layers of GU formations in the surroundings, the poisonous gas could not spread far, they were limited to this area. 1,000-year bitter shell. Fang Yuan looked at the boiling poisonous blood as he stretched out a monstrous arm in request. Here, master. At the next moment, star form land spirit appeared with the 1,000-year bitter shell, handing it to Fang Yuan. In order to refine change form immortal GU, star form land spirit had turned into free labor for Fang Yuan. During the entire process, he was Fang Yuan's assistant. Chapter 860. Nature GU Refinement Technique. Bitter shells lived in deep waters. Taking in the sand and rocks in the water, they could melt the sediments and turn them into bitter water. If someone opened the shell and obtained this bitter water, using it to brew wine, they would get bitter shell wine. Its taste is very unique, bitter and fragrant. Fang Yuan had once obtained a bitter shell, he opened it and used the bitter water to create bitter wine, before using that to refine the liquor worm. Bitter shells were quite rare already, but 1,000-year bitter shells were even rarer, it was a good material to refine immortal GU. Fang Yuan's bitter shell was a 1,000-year bitter shell, it was black and had circular loops of white markings, like tree rings. The alternating black and white color was very eye-catching. Fang Yuan looked at the fire below the turtle shell, as for the 1,000-year bitter shell in his hand, he threw it in without looking. Refining immortal GU was very important, all of the immortal materials had to be checked. Fang Yuan had already checked them many times, the ingredients had no problems. Thus, when Fang Yuan was refining GU, he did not need to distract himself and inspect the immortal materials, he only needed to check the flame's intensity. After tossing in the 1,000-year bitter shell, the poisonous blood no longer boiled, but the poisonous gas was still rumbling, like there was a black python coiling around inside. An intense, foul odor was created. Fang Yuan did not move, he was engulfed in the foul odor, sniffing it attentively. Although he was an immortal zombie and did not have any sense of smell, he had investigative killer moves to help him smell things. This odor was hard to describe, it was absolutely disgusting. Fang Yuan wanted to vomit, his head was dizzy from smelling it. But Fang Yuan had to persevere, because this odor was one of the signs of whether the GU refinement was successful, whether the 1,000-year bitter shell melted perfectly into it. Soon, the 1,000-year bitter shell that Fang Yuan tossed in completely melted, the black poisonous fog stopped rumbling, while the poisonous blood boiled again. Fang Yuan tossed in a second, then a third 1,000-year bitter shell one by one. After a total of 12 bitter shells were melted, the poisonous fog was extremely thick, the intense foul odor started to smell fragrant. Fang Yuan's expression became more serious and stern. Twin Ice Heart, a hairy man, Ben Duoyi, shouted. Even though he was only a rank 5 GU master, he had an extraordinary refinement path attainment level. Thus, he had broad vision and could recognize the immortal material that Yu Mu Chun took out. Ben Duoyi had an expression of shock. A thumb-sized ice heart was already an immortal material, but the ice heart that Yu Mu Chun took out was as large as a basin. Not only was it big, the crucial thing was that this ice heart had a special appearance, within it were two conjoined pieces of heart-shaped ice. This was a twin ice heart, it was 100 times rarer than ordinary ice hearts. Ordinary ice hearts were rank 6 immortal materials, they could create rank 6 immortal GU. Meanwhile, twin ice hearts were immortal materials that could refine rank 7 immortal GU. Such a valuable immortal material, he actually took it out first. Evidently, the twin ice heart is not the main material for this GU, it is only a supplementary material. Master is really amazing, I have no idea what GU he is trying to refine. Ben Duoyi had a look of admiration and adoration. At the same time, he finally relaxed. Such a precious material was used, it seemed that Master Yu Mu Chun was prepared, he was not casually refining this GU. But Ben Duoyi thought, Yu Mu Chun was here in the middle of nowhere refining a precious immortal GU in the open. Was this because Yu Mu Chun was stupid? Or was he extremely daring and fearless from his skill? Ben Duoyi could not come to a conclusion. The surrounding winds were getting stronger. Soon, the winds gathered into a tornado. The tornadoes were separated by a certain distance. They did not crash into one another. It resembled a scene of a forest of tornadoes. Yu Mu Chun floated in the air. In between the tornado forest, the winds were wild, as his bronze mask was blown away, revealing an aged face which was full of hair. Yu Mu Chun laughed loudly. His body shook as the black robe on him tore. The pieces of fabric flew away, showing Yu Mu Chun's muscular body. His entire body was covered in brown hair. It turned out that his real identity was like that of Ben Duoyi. He was a hairy man. No wonder he gave Ben Duoyi pointers. Hairy men were variant humans. They were different from humans. More specifically, they were two different races. Not even Fang Yuan knew about Yu Mu Chun's true identity. As if he understood Ben Duoyi's worries, Yu Mu Chun, while paying close attention to his work, said, "You fool. Why do we hairy men have talent for Gu refinement? It is because hairy men are born with refinement path Dao marks on our bodies. In fact, refinement path originated from hairy men. In terms of the history of Gu refinement, we have been doing it for eons, our accumulated foundations dozens of times deeper than that of humans. But humans have achieved superiority. They wiped out many hairy men, causing countless pieces of precious refinement path knowledge to be lost. Right now, the Gu refinement techniques of humans are influencing hairy men. This is a huge error." Yu Mu Chun continued. For example, when humans refine Gu, they need a quiet environment that is isolated from the outside world. This allows them to refine Gu safely. They have a higher chance of succeeding. But this is only focusing on short-term gains. They are not planning ahead for the future. Gu masters nurture, use, and refine. Nurturing Gu is being familiar with materials and their connection to Gu worms. Why do we feed certain kinds of food to a particular Gu worm? Looking at the Gu worm and its food, countless Gu recipes can be discovered. Using Gu is using and understanding the Dao marks on the Gu worm. Refining Gu is even more crucial. It is the handling of Dao marks. When refining Gu, one should be surrounded by nature. Because the world itself has an endless number of Dao marks. It is like a baby in a mother's womb. The world itself is the best place to refine Gu. If we can make use of the Dao marks of the world, in a way, the world itself is helping us refine Gu. Borrowing the power of the world to refine Gu. Ben Duoyi stared with wide-opened eyes. He was tongue-tied. Yu Mu Chun's words were shocking. This was the first time Ben Duoyi had heard this theory. It was a huge inspiration and expanded his vision. Yu Mu Chun laughed heartily. His eyes shined with brilliance. Ben Duoyi, you have learned the Gu refinement techniques of humans. Even though they are effective, you have taken the wrong path. Learning from others can improve oneself, but the ways of humans is not suited for us. If you want to improve further and become a refinement path great Grand Master, you will need to go back to your origins and use the Gu refinement methods of us hairy men. I am willing, Master Yu Mu Chun, please be magnanimous and teach me the Gu refinement techniques of us hairy men. Ben Duoyi shouted excitedly. He kowtowed non-stop. Yu Mu Chun laughed heartily. Don't be eager to make a decision. There is a huge risk in this. You might not improve. It could potentially harm you instead. I started feeding Gu worms at 3 years old. I touched and was in close contact with Gu worms at 10 years old. Without any instructors, I knew what food foreign Gu worms needed to eat, and how to feed them. At 16, I used human Gu refinement techniques to refine rank 5 Gu with a 90% success rate. But this was a wrong path. When I was 22, I realized this point. I decided to start all over again, refining Gu in nature. When I was 138 years old, my nature Gu refinement techniques had finally reached a state of minor success. Now that I am 246 years old, my nature Gu refinement techniques has reached great success. I can comprehend nature and learn about astrology and earth veins. I can choose the most suitable area, making use of hidden Dao marks in heaven and earth to assist me in my Gu refinement. Right now, I have a 40% success rate in refining rank 6 Immortal Gu, and a 5% success rate in refining rank 7 Immortal Gu. As for rank 8 Immortal Gu, limited by my cultivation level, I have not tried them yet. Such words shook Ben Duoyi. Yu Mu Chun's success rate in refining Gu was too high. Ordinarily, the success rate of refining rank 6 Immortal Gu was less than 1%. For rank 7, the success rate was 0.1%, and for rank 8, it was 0.01%. As for Yu Mu Chun, he could refine rank 6 Immortal Gu with a 40% success rate. That was 4 in 10 attempts. And for rank 7 Immortal Gu, he could succeed once in every 20 attempts. Such a success rate would shock the world if it was exposed. This was the brilliance of nature GU refinement techniques. And Ben Duoyi also realized. To learn these incredible technique, one needed ample talent and aptitude. Yu Mu Chun had incredible talent. He fed GU worms at 3 years old. He was in close contact with GU worms at 10, learning what they ate. By that age, he had already learned that GU worms carried the traces of Tao marks. They were connected to all beings in this world. When Yu Mu Chun was 16, he could refine rank 5 GU using human techniques. When he was 22, he realized this was not the way for him, and he gave up his achievements, restarting from scratch. From this point, one could see that Yu Mu Chun not only had talent, he also had ambition and aspiration. Furthermore, to learn nature GU refinement techniques, one needed huge amounts of time and resources. When Yu Mu Chun was 138 years old, he achieved minor success. When he was 246 years old, he attained great success. Along the way, he must have spent an immense amount of wealth and time to practice. It was unthinkable. Aside from his talent, just the point about expending resources was unrealistic for Ben Duoyi because he was a lone cultivator. When GU immortals cultivate, they needed resources. This was even more the case for refinement path GU masters. Without lots of practice, without enough resources, even GU immortals could learn nothing. Most GU immortals were flying masters, but only a small number were refinement path masters. Fang Yuan did not have higher achievements in refinement path, he only had become a refinement path quasi-grand master. Other than his limited talent and that his efforts were not focused on this path, it was also because he was limited by resources. Yu Mu Chun saw that the tornadoes were calming down. He started to refine GU. He stood in the air, his hair was swaying as he took out immortal materials one after another from his immortal aperture. He tossed these immortal materials into each of the tornadoes after careful selection. The tornadoes were like sharp blades, the immortal materials were grinded into powder quickly. Ben Duoyi was dumbfounded. Ordinarily speaking, when refining GU, the sets of immortal materials had to be measured properly, the timing in which they were used was precise, and the heat used to handle the immortal materials had to be managed. But Yu Mu Chun was very casual, leaving aside the forest of tornadoes. His technique in handling the immortal materials was very crude. He did not pay attention to the quantity of each material. He was like a terrible chef, randomly tossing in oil and other condiments into the dish according to his urges. If anyone else tried this method, Ben Duoyi would scoff in disdain. But when Yu Mu Chun did it, there was an unspeakably smooth flow and natural feeling. His every moment was very ordinary, but there was an indescribable beauty, as if perfectly suited to nature. Deep and profound meaning was hidden in his actions. At once, Ben Duoyi had frozen in place, his eyes were staring without blinking. He was completely dazed.